All right, and we're live.
Live?
We are live.
Oh, yeah, we're recording.
Okay, maybe not actual live. I'm too used to saying that.
Yeah, we're like undead or whatever.
This is going to be such an interesting dynamic for me because normally, other than our reviews, everything we do is actually live. So like, it feels freeing to not have to like, I don't have to check chat. I don't have to, if I say something stupid, you can edit it out if you're merciful.
Edit that out. I don't have to look this terrible. Oh, great. Everyone's going to learn how bad my stutter is. Okay.
I haven't noticed anything.
Oh, yeah, because it's all edited out.
It's always edited out.
But
hello, everyone. Oh, yeah, it's your channel. I'm sorry. You do it.
Yeah, we introduce you.
Yeah, you're probably wondering who these two idiots are.
But yes, we are finally at long last getting back to the tier list of ranking the girlfriends, but now we have to make it actual discussion instead of me just rambling in my camera for 45 minutes. That was how long the video was, like the Lost tier list video. It was like over 45 minutes. I did not know I could just ramble for that long.
Yeah, no, and that's impressive even to me because like I'm a legendary rambler, but I have to have a partner. I have to have someone to bounce it off. That's why like I need Rios. I couldn't do this without Rios. I've tried to do solo content back like a long time ago. I tried to review One Piece in my like fucking parents' basement, and it was hard, dude.
It's like the quintessential place to review One Piece, your parents' basement. So that's the way the rules are going to go. I guess we have to settle on how are we ranking? Like, what is the scale that we're trying to rank them on?
I don't know. I mean, how do you like to do it, Moonlight?
How I did it in my video was
we'll go by character.
We go by character, what they've done for the story. Have they developed in any kind of way? Because that's what you want to see is like character development.
Yeah.
So, and then we can start there, and then we could throw on like personal bias and other things later on.
Yeah,
I think a good healthy mix of it all, right? Like, because I try to take into account, like, that was, when I first, my knee-jerk reaction to Hahari initially was F tier bad, but then I started thinking about, like, well, there actually is some interesting complexities to her character, and that kind of brought her up, so, like, I take into account would I date them, but also interestingness of their character, but also how illegal are their activities, etc. God, yes.
Legal Eagle on what? How many crimes have the 100 girlfriends committed?
The Legal Eagle video on how much prison time Hahari would get would go hard as fuck. So that's a Moonlight video, is what that is.
What's funny is someone in the official 100 Girlfriends Discord actually contacted me about doing a collab on that very subject. Like, really? What are all the crimes of all the girlfriends? And he said he got about halfway through. I haven't heard from him in a while, so I don't know if he just got busy or whatnot, but yeah, he basically said, so I'm going through the whole manga, taking count of everything, like, illegal that they've done and what they would be serving. And I guess he was also basing it on Japanese laws, too, so I guess that takes some more time.
Oh, well, once you get to, like, the hair apocalypse, all bets are off. I mean, I have to imagine it's a life sentence for everyone involved at that point, right? I mean, you've almost...
Yeah, they become international global threats at that point. Like.
But the thing is, though, does anyone outside of the family know it was Hahari?
That's true. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Is there like satellite imagery of the hair kind of like focusing in on the school?
Yeah, like, the swirl of the center of the storm. It's like, oh, wait a minute, that's centered in Japan. Like, zoom in. It's like, it's centered on whatever prefecture they're in.
We're just going to chalk that up to like some kind of yokai disaster.
Very much.
Yeah.
Horny time.
Yeah. All right, so I guess we're doing an introduction order.
I think that's the way I like to do it.
Yeah, it's the easiest and easiest to follow, especially because, as we said, newer girlfriends don't have as much to talk about. What's funny is I actually used to debate people on like how do we determine who was first, Hakari or Karane, but then I saw someone's argument saying that Hakari confessed first, so technically yes, she should be counted.
I think that is why she's kind of in every fan list
first.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's just start with Hakari then.
Well, yeah. I was gonna say there are some committed Karane firsters, but I think they're mostly letting their feelings for Karane.
As much as I love Karane, I don't even know how you'd make that argument. I mean, it's pretty, you'd have to tell me what the argument is, I guess.
I don't remember. I just know that they exist. They're committed facts.
Well. Who wants to start with their Hakari ramble?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, who wants to vouch for Hakari? Because as much as I just said, older characters that have been around longer have so much more going on.
I know your feelings on her.
And then Hakari is like, she's the one with some of the least.
Yeah. So this is one of those situations where I don't want to just go off of like how much has their character developed, because sometimes their character is great and you could almost argue is in no need of development. Like one of the ones that Rios always brings up is Momiji. She almost feels like she doesn't need development because she's just got her life figured out. Like she knows what she likes. She's living her best life. And there's no like conflict there. She's not like, oh man, I wish I wasn't so like unconsensually gropey. Like, no, she loves it. She's doing great, you know? And it doesn't even seem like it pisses people off because she like makes people feel so good. Anyway, I'm off topic because I'm not talking about Hakari right now. But Hakari, I like for the most part. You know, obviously horny girl, horny, and sometimes it feels like there's not as much as there should be for to her. But one of the things Rios brings up, and I will kind of springboard to him because I like that he always brings this up, is she has this thing that is mentioned briefly where she feels kind of insecure about her fakeness. Like there's a lot of stuff like that with some of the girls that are like underneath and like in the background that like my headcanon is like, oh, I can see where this could go in the future. So sometimes I'm like thinking about potential growth that hasn't happened yet, and I'm like, ooh, that could be good.
Yeah. One of the things that I do think about when I think about Hakari is that she does have a lot of like potential that hasn't been, you know, capitalized on. I mean, obviously you just mentioned the feeling like a fake thing, but I mean, I think that's probably the biggest one. I mean, it's been mentioned several different times across like years at this point. It's like nothing's been done with it yet, so that's kind of, I mean, it's kind of interesting.
Well, there's also like this author could, if he wants to like delve into like serious topics, because like I mean, what he does is the same thing I like that Oda does, where like Oda's the One Piece author, where he'll take like a silly wacky concept and it'll start as just silly wacky, and then he has the ability to like be serious with it. You know, like Shizuka, you know, oh that's a weird concept. She talks through her phone. Oh, there's trauma involved, right? Yes. And I think her hypersexuality could come from the trauma of being raised by Hahari.
Yeah, she just takes it to another, I don't know what's a different level, like it's like the same amount of horny but in two different ways.
Her mother is baby crazy. Like, she wants to raise babies.
Yeah, I think that there's, I see depth there that just hasn't been like, if subtext is subtext, what do you call not subtext? Just text?
Just text, yeah.
The text versus the subtext.
It hasn't been explicitly stated in the text, but I see depth there, right? You know, like I always think to the chapter where she like locks them in the fucking gym or the storage room or whatever, and she's like, I know you want to wait, Rentaro, but please, I need this, and it's like, why do you need it so bad? Like, there's to me, maybe I'm just too good faith, but I just feel like there's got to be there's some trauma there. She sees a lot of her value in the sexiness, and I wonder why, you know? So like I see a potential to her. She feels like there's depth there. I also really want to see more between her and Hahari. Like I said, Allie and I were just talking about this at lunch today, where like I would love a moment where her and Hahari kind of like sit down and have a serious conversation about like how their, you know, like their younger days were, and like how she was raised by her and the trauma that brought about. I would love to see that. So I think there's more to her, but we haven't seen it yet. So I've always had Hakari in like B tier, maybe high C at the worst, but she's usually like a low B for me.
Yeah.
It's interesting that you also brought up that fakeness that she's almost putting on some kind of front, because this was something I noticed. It wasn't in the sub, but it was a lot more obvious in the dub. Because one thing we complain about in the dub is what I can't pronounce her name, but Sarah, the voice actress for Hakari, puts on this obvious, very high-pitched fake voice. And in one instance in the pool episode, before the pool episode, she pulled out this almost regular, like, teenage girl voice that we know Sarah can do from all of her other characters. And it sounded so good, and it was her inner monologue. So, like, this is how she normally sounds. So she's putting on this high-pitched front for whatever reason. That's when I finally figured out, she is kind of putting on a show. Mm-hmm. She's putting on this other character. Yeah, she
also talks very like hoity-toity rich girl, right? Which of course she is a rich girl, but she almost, it feels like she's putting on this like, oh, Rentaro, darling. It's like, I feel like that a lot of that comes from because my read on Hahari, her mother, is that when Hakari was first born, she was going through her like weird phase still, because we know that she like tongued her as a baby, which is insane, and came back up recently. But then there was a period of time where I think Hahari kind of locked in, because when we meet Hahari. Sorry, I mix up their names a lot. When we meet Hahari, the mother, she's very stern, serious, business mogul. And so to me, it seems like maybe, she had a moment where she realized, like, wow, that was kind of up, this like having a kid at 13 thing, and then she locked in for a bit, and then of course she rebounded like hardcore when Rentaro the Enabler came in.
Basically, the way Hahari...
Why she is the way she is?
Yeah. I actually have something else to say regarding that, but I'll let you...
One last thought, yeah. So basically my idea is I think the reason she is the way she is because she was raised by this like super fancy rich mother, and I think that's kind of, she sees like, I'm going to be proper and prim like she's kind of conflicted, like she's got these two sides of her, which is like, I'm going to be prim, proper, ladylike, I'm going to the masquerade ball, right? That's what men want, but then also she's got this like deep burning desire in her, which we like everything else in 100 Girlfriends is like literally genetic, just like tsundereism is genetic, right?
Riffing off what you said, this is saying that, that strict parents raise sneaky kids, and I mean, like, because there's only referred to as scheming in the story when Hakari has her schemes, whatever. But I mean, that's kind of like the in the context of that strict parents raise sneaky kids.
And she refers to them as schemes herself, by the way. Like she in her mind, she's like, oh, another scheme. It's like, what a way to live. Like you
like,
feel
I can imagine that having grown up with the very like probably. I mean, she probably did get very used to making schemes and like thinking about, okay, if I do this, how's this person going to react? And I need to take into account this. I don't like bother mother or whatever, or I need to say I need to express myself in a ladylike manner. So I mean, I imagine that would have resulted in, well, I mean, this very the facade that she knows she's put on the facade, but obviously when you have been doing that for so much of your early childhood, it starts to become
hard to get out of that. Yeah. Well, this is what I'm talking about with the headcanon thing that I mentioned earlier, right? Like, just, you see how much of a conversation we were able to have there? Like, this is what I love about these characters. Like, even if they're not expressed fully in the text, I feel like if you just kind of look into, like, what we know about these characters, you can start to kind of piece together the puzzle as to why they are the way they are. So that's why I can't, like, fully hate Hakari, even though she's, like, I agree we haven't seen much development, like, right there on paper, but I feel like it's sitting there ready to be there, and if I can read a story and at least like get a vibe in my head for like the complexities of the character, I can't put them like any lower than like C. Like with Sue, I can't do this with Sue. I can't fucking like come up with some contrived like, what's her damage, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, that's because she has no damage. She's like Momiji. She's like a flat character, but flat doesn't mean like bad. She just has her thing, and she's sticking to it, like you gotta accept it, Red. One day you have to just accept the number girl likes numbers.
It's like you just have to accept that some people are just this simple.
Yeah. That's true. I mean, well, you'll see when we get there, but I've come around on Sue. Okay, she used to be F tier, but now she's D tier.
Right. Ooh. Yeah. All right, but I think we're all sounding pretty B right now for Hakari.
All right.
Yeah, I do think. One thing I'm going to add. I mean,
she might fall near the bottom of B by the time we're done, but she's at least in B.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, one thing that I do definitely love is her her dynamic with Karane. Fucking beautiful.
I'm glad you brought that up. That's like one of the best parts. I can't believe I forgot to bring that up. Yeah.
I mean, the fucking like yearly romance these two have been, just slowly and jumps and starts developing since the beginning of the story is like it's honestly almost as beautiful as any of the other romances between Rentaro and his girls.
I was about to say it's like almost, her relationship with Karane is almost better than her relationship with Rentaro.
Yes. Didn't we talk about this in our first collab stream? Right? It feels very like she's constant with Rentaro. She's constantly like it's about. And but with Karane, it feels like real, genuine love. Not to say there's no
Karane, she's more comfortable dropping the mask, but with Rentaro, she's still trying to put her best face forward.
The alarm bells go off in her brain of like different gender, boy. It's like the end of Inside. Is it Inside Out, that Pixar movie? Where it goes into the boy's head and it's like girl. Like that's what's happening in Hakari's head when she sees boy that she loves. But with Karane, it's just a friend. It's whatever, and friends cuddle friends.
Sometimes we. I see you have preemptively put her in SS. I mean, I don't disagree. I don't disagree, but I mean, I saw you did that before we even had a discussion.
I couldn't remember because she's S for me. She's S for Moonlight. Is she S for Rios?
I had her in like A, but I think. But I mean, she is. I mean, between her and Hakari, I do tend to like Karane more. I remember, I do. She
just has more character.
It's because you're a human being with a fully functioning frontal lobe.
I mean, we just talked about how Hakari, she has her whole thing. She has a lot going on. And it's just less. Paradoxically, the tsundere is much more, forward and transparent than the,
I know, it's so good.
whatever Hakari is like. He's like a himedere, whatever the girlfriend or shoujo like taxonomy is in Japan. But,
I love the way they do tsunderes in this, because they treat it like to be tsundere in this world is actually to have the most emotions. It's actually really sad. Like, I will never forget in Tsundere Lost where Rentero's like, oh, I have this overwhelming urge to say the opposite of what I believe in. Is this how you live, Karane? It's so sad. Like, I fucking love that, man. Like, it really turned my whole brain around on the concept of tsunderes. I was like, oh, that's really sad.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Moonlight, please. We've been talking more than you. It's your channel.
But you have the more interesting back and forth. But Karane, it just feels like the most. I almost want to say the most fleshed out character. Multiple. I mean, you see her with the Akko chapter. You see her with the marriage proposal trilogy, and it's just like it seems like all the best chapters have her in some kind of like almost lead. And I don't know if that's on purpose or not, but it gives her like the best opportunity to be more developed as a character than just here's your tsundere. Whereas unlike Mai, who is at base level 1 tsundere, and that's all she is.
Yes.
Karane feels the most like a real human out of like maybe anyone in the cast. Like, I mean, it's like she could be like the main character. Like, she feels like a main character. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I mean, like, I love, and we all love the marriage proposal arc, but like, when they meet her family and they're all tsundere, which is so funny that it's a genetic thing. Yeah. Hilarious. And then, like, we get this real conversation. For Karane to be the first one to come out and be like, in a serious way, like, I'm not going to count Hakari here, being like, let's have kids. But like, for Karane to be like, have this serious conversation of like, I want to have children with you one day. And not in like a, haha, we're f***ing kind of way, but in like a, like, I love you so much that I want to raise a family with you. For the tsundere to be the first person to say that, I mean, she is like, God, the development on her. I think Rios mentioned at one point in one of our reviews where it's like, when you have a character like a tsundere, it like sets them up to have the most potential for character development, because all you need to do to have character development is get past the tsundere urge to not share your feelings, right?
Not only that, but it's also like I think that's the other thing with a lot of tsundere characters in anime and manga in general is they're not like fully aware of their tsundere-ness, but yet Karane was most aware of it to say it's like, yes, it's a whole thing that my entire family is, and yet I'm worried about that Rentaro is going to be annoyed with me because I'm just going to pass on this tsundere trait to my kid, and he's not going to like that. So that's what her main concern was. So she's like fully aware of the tsundere-ness of her family and her lineage, and she even said it. It's like, this is what I'm worried about. Because I know it's annoying.
I'm happy you brought up the self-awareness, because if anyone knows me, that's like my 13th reason. That's my Roman Empire. Yeah, I always bring up the self-awareness, because to me that's one of like the defining things about Nakamura's characters. He had that interview where he talked about how like one of his main things when writing characters is to make them likable, and I think one of the best ways to do that is to make them self-aware. Because like if you have someone, I mean, I hate that the human mind is like this, but it's just true, right? If you meet someone and they're cringe, you're like, ugh, cringe, I don't want to hang out with this person. But if they're like self-aware, like they're like, that was a shitty joke, wasn't it? Somehow they're like way more likable. It's like, oh, you know you're cringe. Dude, like, I like that about his characters, because you have like Naddy. Naddy's a great example. She's doing this Yeehaw America shit, and like I can't remember if it's her intro chapter or like an early one, but she even does the like, yeah, I'm sorry, this isn't really me. But then Rentero's the one who's like, no, girl, live your life, live your truth, be that shit. And she's like, well, yeah. Yep. Like I love that. Like they're all able to kind of realize like, okay, this is a little cringe, and it's Rentaro, much like Luffy, who pushes them to like, no, girl, follow your dreams. Live the life you want to live. Same with Uto. That's why Uto came around for me when we had the chapter where she was like, I'm a fraud, right? And it's beautiful self-awareness. I love it.
Yeah. Karane probably is one of like one of the best early examples in the girlfriend roster of like somebody who really wants to be something, but because of whatever they can't do. Like he wants to be more tender and more girly. I mean, it's one of the things is one of the things that causes her to have like basically a deep-seated jealousy of Hakari, where like Hakari is so girly and womanly, whatever. And I mean, I remember during the early pool thing, that's one of the things that she brings up. It's like, oh, like I'm not even I'm not even cute like Shizuka.
She was scared to show the swimsuit too. You know, she probably didn't think she point of contention for her as well.
I've thought several times this girl has like some shonen backstory that we are unaware of. Like sometimes she'll say shit. It's like I remember during the right after the Hakari retrieval, like when everyone's they're all winding down. Like he's talking things like.
I think that I mean obviously I think that's supposed to just be like her like weird excuse for like why she's so aggressive. Well, I'm just training for in case I need to protect you guys. I also I'd be remiss not to mention this. You reminded me of the Hakari retrieval arc, but something I like about Karane is she has real eat the rich energy. Like her hatred of rich family. That's a rich family's dog, all right. It's just like any opportunity to be like this. It stinks of rich people here. I could absolutely vibe with Karane and like.
So did we want to keep her in S or did we want to move her to SS?
So she's S for me. She's S for you. It's all up to Rios.
I mean, yeah, I'm willing to bump her up to S. All right, you know,
I'll be
say, if it's, you know, it's not
peer pressure.
If it's not Karane, I don't know who else is gonna get up there.
If I've learned anything, it's that me and Moonlight could convince Rios to take a swig of a cigarette out back.
Yeah.
Okay, probably not something like that.
just the swig.
Well, yeah, I'm referencing those old like school PSAs about.
It's gonna be so hard because all the big hitters are the first couple ones.
Yeah. I can talk. Listen, if you know anything, if you've ever watched our reviews, Moonlight, we can talk about anything for at least an hour. Don't you worry.
Yeah,
we're at 28 minutes in, and we're only on number 2.
If we're not here for at least 3 hours, and what's the point?
I'm hoping to. I think we can make 2.5 hours if we're speedy.
If we're speedy.
But
it's gonna get shorter on each like newer girlfriend.
According to you.
Oh God! If we spent 10 minutes on each of these characters, we'd be here for 5.5 hours.
Oh, we gotta speed it up, boys.
All right, Hasuwa, she sniffs. She's good. Hey, that's it.
No, bad. No. Let's see. Shizuka's great. I think everyone agrees she has one of the best intros in the whole fucking series.
Okay,
I mean,
like we sometimes we talk about great filters where like, you know, the introduction of the vice principal is like a great filter where like if you can get past if you can't get past this, that's understandable. But this is like the reverse of a great filter. This is like the thing that will make you go, oh wait a minute, this story has like, this isn't just a goofy silly gag manga. They're actually willing to go like in some, you know, some serious deep places and they can pull it off if they do it. It's like
every reaction I've ever seen, it's always people like, oh, this is like the normies are like, this is some freak shit, and then they get to Shizuka and it's like, okay, it's actually got some real storytelling here.
And they all tsundere about it.
Yeah. No, I mean, like to this day, and I've watched season 1 of the anime like 3-4 times now, you know, getting various friends into it, and like, I mean, dude, like just the way the music is, and like, you know, oh, do you want to say anything? And then it's like a pause, and then she's like, I love you. It's like that moment gives me fucking chills, man. Like it's actually just composed, directed, everything about that moment is fucking perfect. Like she's a great character. She's super complex. I love all of the different directions her character goes in, because she's like this. She's the small floop. She's the small floof. She's innocent. She's baby, but she's also like one of the closest to like lewdness with him. She's canonically, maybe I think, the only one that's seen his penis. You know what I mean? Like it's and she and then someone in Discord mentioned recently that there was I think did they say during the lap pillow episode she had like a lewd dream about him or something?
I think so. Yeah. Or her presence gave Rentaro a lewd dream. Like, this is what we'd be doing.
Ooh. I think somehow she's just the way that this series is going. Even though you'd expect it to be Hakari, and Hakari would want it to be her, somehow Shizuka is going to be the first one to like have full-on sex with him. I can feel it. Like, somehow it will be her. And like, I love that dynamic. Small baby girl floof. She could fly away at the simplest gust. Physically, she's weak, but like, you know, she's gonna go to like college, get a really good job, and probably be making more money than you. You know, like once she now that like she's got her like speech thing kind of sorted out, I think she's gonna be like a Stephen Hawking. You know what I mean?
The contrast between, you know, how you know, the sort of stereotypical, you know, small quiet girlfriend, but I mean she is, I mean, like I always say this, he's a very quietly fierce individual, and I always that's something that really like stuck out to me, just especially in the manga where the expression that this girl makes her, like, she may not be able to talk with her voice, but she can talk with her like face like it's her first language. And it's like that's something I do really appreciate, and I don't know, like
she's like one of the most like I don't want to say useful, but like she's good in like every kind of situation. Like, is this being a silly chapter?
Yeah.
Is this being a is this a silly chapter? A serious
she's
chapter?
Versatile.
Versatile's the word. Yeah.
Versatile. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, I mean, even as recently as like the most recent Daily Life, which by the way, I loved your review about you being in therapy about the Daily Life. So that's very funny. Yeah, the framing devices you come up with are so good.
I literally came out of desperation of like, how do I make this end? Because every Daily Life chapter, I have like a mild panic attack of like, how do I string all this together?
It's so funny because I wanted to mention this in the comments, but I didn't want anyone to misread it as like me bragging or anything. But like somehow Rios and I, the Daily Life chapters are like our longest videos. Like I think it's just because we go into like hour-long tangents for each segment, basically. Like somehow we
you have like 8 different stories to talk about, so that's that makes sense.
Yeah, it's like basically like we are somehow able to talk about like these 2 pages as if they were a full chapter. It's just insane. Crazy. But anyway, yeah, as recently as the last Daily Life, you have Shizuka, despite the fact that you'd think, oh, she's meek, she's the shy girl, but she is willing to take the initiative and be like, I sense Saki feeling uncomfortable and sad about her lack of strength here. I'm going to step in and be like a cool friend and help her out. I mean, that's something that you wouldn't expect from like the shy girl. And of course, she isn't the only shy girl. You have like Mei Mei also being a shy girl in a different way.
Shy girl.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, and it's like Ryo said, right? Despite the fact that she has this like speech thing where she's nervous about her voice, that's really the only thing she's nervous about. Like the voice thing is her main thing, but in every other scenario, she's willing to step up, and like be an aggressor.
She's the ultimate team player. Like she supports everyone and everything.
Yes.
Like, yeah, I remember those times where she would like you let Mei Mei hide behind her skirt, that kind of thing.
She's the ultimate team player. That's what I've realized now. Is like she's the ultimate team player, and she's also one of the most down bad girlfriends somehow.
Yes.
I don't know if I want to call it inconsistency of the franchise. Here's something I don't know if anyone has noticed, but there are characters who realize they're in a manga, but only Rentaro and Meru have ever called it 100 girlfriend. So I don't know if any other girlfriend knows the number or anything. Everyone just knows all they know is they're in a rom-com manga. Because like Karane says, yeah, this is a rom-com, but no one has ever said the title except for Rentaro and Meru, which I find
blowing my mind right now.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's even weirder because like they've obviously looked at the pages. I mean, there was that classic scene where like Chiyo pulled up like the show with like Nano the book or whatever. So does it not have a title or something? But it's like
I know this makes no sense, but the way I've always looked at fourth wall breaking characters is that in the moment they break the fourth wall, they're aware of it, but like the very next page, they go back to not being aware of it. I know that makes no sense.
It's a very like
yelling at me.
Doesn't make sense in the moment kind of thing.
Yeah, because otherwise, like I feel like you'd ruin something about if they were like aware of the trope that there's going to be 100 girlfriends. Like they know that there's going to keep being more, but if they knew about because like let's be real, they can't know about the love god thing. Rentaro is like specifically, I'm not going to tell them because that'd be fucking weird, right? So like I think the only way to look at it is that like there's a moment where they get to be fourth wall, and to me that's almost like Nakamura just like fucking mind melding into them to like speak through them, and then they like switch back to being them. You know what I mean?
Like, whoa, like, Nana, what happened to you for a second? You started talking weird, and started talking about we stand a king, and
I always had this video idea. It was one of my earliest, like, theory idea videos, but I never was able to flesh it out. But I always considered, I wanted to take, like, the weird angle and say, when you join Rentaro's family, it's basically like joining a cult. And one of the points of joining the cult is you become self-aware that you're a manga character. Because no side character has ever broken the fourth wall. Only members of the family. So it's like you join the family, you gain like self-awareness and knowledge that you are a manga character.
They get have you guys ever read Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe? It's like a comic where he just kills
I've watched
everyone.
Like reviews of it, but not like the full thing.
Yeah, there's a moment, the way he kills Professor X is he, like, lets him mind meld with him, so he's like, see the world the way I see it, and he, like, puts his head up against Professor X, and Professor X, like, sees the comic pages, and sees the fact that they're in a comic, and it, like, literally gives him an aneurysm, like, it breaks his brain, he's like, what the fuck? So yeah, there's a moment happening there where like every time a girl joins, they have like an existential crisis.
That's during her her group introduction chapter. Like one of them showed, and she looked like fucking like Light from Death Note when he gets his memories back. And it was like, I mean, yeah, for me, I'm just like, okay, yeah, that's the kind of story. This is the kind of story we're reading. You know, it's a story where the fourth wall is a suggestion and one is
a suggestion.
Yeah, it's often not taken. Yeah.
Anyway, we got See, this is what's gonna make this video be 5 hours. Shizuka.
So do we want
to? She's always
settle...
kind of flip flopping. Oh, go ahead.
I know. So I was gonna say. So I don't think we're all on triple S, but I do think
definitely not.
I think we're all either between like S and A. I think.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah. She'd either be top A, high A, or low S for me. So, and if you two are S, then we'll just do S.
Okay.
I mean, and one other thing I do want to bring up is just seeing her progression as being someone who's just a reader to recently beginning to see getting the writing and showing it off to people like Nano and everything. I mean that's a really that's one of the most like clearly developed arcs of any of the girls. Like. I mean, that's something very distinctive about her that I think also kind of uplifts her character.
Interesting, because with Shizuka, when that writing thing happened, I brought up back in a previous chapter where she was part of the group of girlfriends who fully admitted, like, we don't really have any future aspirations. We're just kind of living in the moment. We don't have, like, career goals. And Shizuka finally got one, and now we need the other characters like Mei Mei and Kishika to find out what they want to do with their lives. So I hope they tackle that at some point. But now it's been 20 volumes later and expectations are just too high now. It's like you just never do it now because you'll never live up to them. All right.
I think S is good. Ooh, okay. I'm gonna let Ryo. I mean, it's your channel, obviously, but I would say Ryo should start with Nano because I remember when he was first reading, Nano was like a big spiritual. I don't know. He kind of kinned with Nano. Animal, yeah.
And it actually, I feel like it actually kind of made, kind of caused some problems because I was like that's not like as being someone like that, like Nakamura. That's not how this character would work. Even just today, I do feel like I want to know what is the motivation for her, efficiency obsession. That recent two-parter with the anticlimax was a little painful. I mean, it was fun.
I'm glad we're here with Moonlight because I wanted to discuss that. So, because I can't remember if I got much of your opinions from your review on if it was because we were really kind of disappointed at how short it was. It felt like it should have been at least one more chapter. Yeah. How did you feel about the recent Nano chapters?
I think I said this briefly in my video, but yeah, it's a shame that it was cut so short. It felt like it could have gone on for another chapter just to. And here's a behind the scenes of my video. I had an idea of okay, if this is a 3 chapter, I had a perfect idea of how I was going to stretch out my videos. Yeah. What was going to happen was with part 2 ending, I always assumed the synchronization would have hit 100%.
Me too.
The 3rd chapter would be we would see a full world where she's just completely gone. And
I wanted.
So what my idea for my video was literally going to be hits 100%. I would go back into that joke of. Nano is how I got into the series or how
you wouldn't have gotten into it.
Right? So with Nano gone, I would literally end the video on just, that's it. I would disappear and the video would end. So that was going to be my joke for the video.
Well, yeah, and then you had to kind of shoehorn it into the middle of part 2 because...
I'm I really like this joke, so I got to do it. I got to work this somehow. So that's how
I mean, retooled. We talked about it a lot in our review, and it just, for me, it's with writing... If you're getting to a moment where there's pain, you should try to draw out the pain a little bit. It shouldn't just be there's pain for 3 seconds and then it's solved instantly. You gotta squeeze out as much drama as possible. And it just felt like it really could have used a moment where Nano just got to sit in the misery for a full chapter, which would have made the kind of Rentaro saving the day or the big kiss moment feel a lot more impactful. And I wish that Nakamura didn't feel so locked into this structure where it has to be 2 here and every volume gets a daily life, and you know what I mean. It's it was unfortunate, and it makes me worry for future series arcs because I want to be able to believe that he can do. I want a Nakamura who can do the Hakari retrieval arc again, where we get a whole volume. Yeah.
I just miss it. That's my comment. But
I did mention that it did feel like maybe it could have felt like it was prolonged or stretched out a little too much, and that's the only cope is that it wouldn't have been as good. But so far, all of the arcs that were this could have been 3 chapters have been that the floating island arc felt like it could have been a 30-parter just to do something with it.
I can't believe we started reviewing on those chapters.
It was so funny. the theory crafting and speculation we did on part 1, only to be like, well, I mean, I guess that's what the trash is for. Just throw that in. We'll throw our speculation trash.
Yeah, we were talking like maybe this is like some government like Area 51 type thing that they stumbled upon. Maybe this is aliens
point in the series. Like,
did you watch my video on that first part? Like, I had,
I don't think I did.
I had like 3 different theories on like what was going on, and my craziest one was I called it squirrel theory because. The reason I called it that was I figured it was a simulation of some kind. They were all in some kind of like serious corporation, like vacation, like virtual reality vacation simulator or something. And the reason I thought that was because you never saw Yamame's squirrel in the chapter.
Oh, shit.
The squirrel was nowhere to be found. So I thought, you know what? This is a virtual simulation because Yamame doesn't have her squirrel.
That would, and imagine that's like the fucking detail they point to. Like, Yamame, wait a minute. Where's your squirrel? And then someone's like, cut, delete this, turn it off. They they found out who the got to model in the squirrel.
So, yeah, I think that seems to be Nakamura's like weakness now is he gets such good setups in the first chapter, and then he just drops the ball so far in the second half, and we're like, oh, well, you could have given yourself a third half to maybe do something.
It almost feels like he's so deep into the long-running formula now that it almost feels like he's got this like weird self-imposed structure that he feels like he has to follow, and I just feel like his series would be so much better for it if he just allowed himself to freeform it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's doing very traditional episodic story where like most of the time it's just these self-contained little like bottle episodes, I guess, or just slice of life episodes, and then occasionally we get a little minor break from the status quo, but it always goes back to like the status quo. Like we'd never have any meaningful changes to the direction of the story or whatever. Just always we're going in this linear direction, this linear pace, and that's it. You know.
The only thing I'll push back on that, and it's the reason that I continue to read the series, is that we do get minor changes to the status quo in terms of character, right?
Like I appreciate that, and that's why I'm like, I mean, the nice part about it is even if like say like this little era that we're in goes on for like another year or two, we would still only be like maybe 40 girlfriends in, and there'd still be like 60. Like, I mean, it could be like in the year 27 that like he just changes the formula completely, and that's
kind of what I'm hoping, right? Like by the time we're at like girlfriend 45, like surely not. I mean, like as a writer, you're gonna get bored, but he's got a similar.
Japan is the land of like 1,000 episode, 1,000 chapter, like Detective Conan type episodic serials. With it could be that when the girlfriend is just this until
True. All I'm saying is like it'd be nice if it got to a point where it's like, okay, now that I've been doing this for like 15 years, maybe I do want to shake it up and do some more like serious stuff, because he's got himself a formula where he can do practically anything in this world. He can tell any story he wants because he has a character for every story he could possibly want to tell. If he wanted to do a 10 chapter shonen battle arc with Nozawa just popping off with her art, he could just do that. He could literally have like Ira or Era. I never know how to pronounce her name. He could have Aira enter a goddamn tournament, and we could have a 10-chapter tournament arc of Aira going up the fucking Heaven's Arena, Hunter x Hunter style. You could just do that for like 10 chapters. There's nothing stopping him. He's got a formula for anything. So I mean, like, I hope that he allows himself to be a little bit more outside of the box going forward. But because that's kind of what got me into it originally. It felt like anything could happen. Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, it just feels like he's definitely in this box right now of you can almost predict a volume structure now, where it starts with the character introduction, meet the family, and now it's inserted flirty daily life, which includes the new girlfriend, then a focus on the new girlfriend chapter. It looks like he's now gotten into the habit of a 2-parter arc of some kind, shoehorned out because he had to do the 200 chapter special that became a 3-parter.
And I was glad that was a 3-parter, by the way. I like if that can be a 3-parter, then other things should be able to be a 3-parter.
Yeah, and then we have to have the daily life now. So we're getting flirty daily life and daily life in every chapter now, in every volume now. Yay and no, especially because I hate these things of trying to write for them.
And especially when they have like a little 2-thing like vignette that could have been its own chapter. I mean, people were talking about like the Yaku x Himiko thing was like that would have been a great 20-page little story, but I mean,
I hope he just.
These are just we're just airing our, for people who are worried, we don't hate the damn series. We're just airing some.
Yeah, no, that's my other worry.
Sure.
I think a lot of people think I hate daily life chapters. I don't. I just hate the process that I've written
I think if they think that, it's because you had an entire video where you were venting to an imaginary therapist about your.
Like, goodbye, everyone. I'll remember you all in therapy. But,
No, yeah, I mean, I don't hate them either, and I like the concept, but like, I feel like, and maybe I'm crazy, they used to be a bit more spread out, right?
Yes, like, I literally checked it just before, and like, I checked it. I mean, they ramped up in frequency. I mean, now there's some discrepancy between like Rentaro's family daily life is different from Rentaro's daily life with his girlfriend, but I mean, they're basically the same thing. It's like.
Yeah, it feels like almost like a lack of confidence in Naka. I don't know. One makes me wonder if he's worried about running out of ideas, or if he just feels like or he's got like a checklist on his fucking board where he's like, okay, time for a 2-parter, now time for a daily life. It's like, no, I don't know.
It's weird to say that. Like, is he running out of ideas when literally daily life makes him come up with 8 more ideas than just one chapter?
Yeah, like, that's literally a volume's worth of ideas to squeeze into one chapter. Maybe he feels like he's flexing on us, perhaps. I could make these all individual chapters. The
other theory could be that he feels as the amount of girls increases, maybe he's concerned about giving them all like their proper spotlight. So, but instead of like taking the long approach and giving each one of them like a chapter here or there, he's like, well, I got to make sure everyone gets their girls at least in one volume. Every girl has to show up, but it's like if he goes with that approach, he's doomed to fail because it's just gonna
Which I think someone pointed out in the comments of the last Daily Life is I would have to double check this, but I think they said this was the first Daily Life that not everyone appeared in.
Oh, so
wow.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think we'd all agree, like, we'd be fine with, like, more space between, like, progressively more space between girlfriend introductions to allow for, longer sort of, like, I think another thing might just be that they really want to keep having 2 girlfriends per cover, and you can't do that if there's one new girlfriend per volume. And hell, I mean, if that went on for long enough, it would eventually come to the point where there's no new girlfriend in a volume, which, I mean...
Well, we've already reached that because the next physical volume can't have Saki Nemu on it because it's Saki's chapter, so Nemu doesn't exist yet when it comes to the physical release, so the next volume has to have some original art on it. Like
I didn't even realize that. Oh, wow.
Yeah, because the next physical volume will have is Saki's introduction, and we're caught up. We're except for Saki, so yeah, we can't have Saki Nemu. So what they're gonna have to do something like they did with, because that was the whole reason why that trilogy of manga covers is that big heart one where it's a big 3-piece. Like that's the reason why they did that, was because they caught up with all the girlfriends, and they're like, well, shit, now we got to do something else, and so they gave themselves this 3-volume buffer. But now they've done the same thing again, where they've caught up.
Well, I guess had the opportunity to do that. I would not mind some. I mean, like the swim, the scuba diving thing. That would have been great. That'd be a cool thing they could do. You could tell like an X-part story via volume covers, and when you get that little thing of once you have bought all the volumes, you can put them all together and be like, oh my god, it's like a
like the Dragon Ball Z DVDs back in the day. Yeah.
I had a concern.
You really need to take our advice. Like I'm willing. Like if you're willing to pay Nakamura,
we could be your editors, Nakamura. Dude, Moonlight, I've talked about this with Rios, and then we probably should get back to the tier list. But like, it's a flex. It's a dream. It's a dream. It probably won't ever happen. But like, just some kind of indication that Nakamura knows about our videos would would blow my mind. It would send me to the moon.
I've had like, I want to call them like nightmares or daydreams, but like a daymare of, there's gonna be a chapter, and there's gonna be an owl in the background with a monocle.
Yes, either that or I don't know. Like they could, because this is the type of manga that could reference its own reviewers. It could.
Oh, very.
Like, there's these fucking assholes online that are say they don't like Sue, and then it's like us. I like some caricature of us.
No, I mean, if we want to increase our chances, we just need to learn Japanese, like Backtracks Reacts, and then we can do our reviews in Japanese, and we'll massively increase our chances of being noticed by Nakamura.
And just so you know, I don't have a fucking big head about myself. The only reason I even think that's a possibility is because like you, me, and Backtrack are like the only people that discuss the manga on a weekly basis on the entirety of the internet. Like I've scoured, as far as I can tell.
Well, the only English. I think there are some Japanese.
Oh, are there? Okay, that would make sense.
Maybe you probably. But like I said, she's too relatable for me because like I want to see, like so many. I mean, you've seen Red. I have so many
Nanoisms.
Yeah, Nanoisms. Sometimes I'm
Dude,
leaning into
it's
it.
honestly kind of cute.
Yeah, sometimes I'm leaning into it. Sometimes I just do it naturally. But like,
no, my favorite one that you did totally. I think you did it naturally. Was I asked him how because we were like blowing up in subscribers and like it was just our channel was doing really good and I was like I showed him all that and then he responded and he was like I'm so ... I don't know ... happy ? About that.
Question mark?
I was like that's the most Nano shit I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, I was kind of be like what. Yeah, this is what he said. I'm getting into it now.
Because he's like, Rios is. It's so hard for him to like genuinely show emotion.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I remember that one scene during like I think it was like Kurumi's introduction chapter where like Nano says something that gets all the girls like, "Oh my God, we love you." They all start hugging. He's like, "What is happening?" Like, I mean, that's literally happened to me. It's like so like I mean, he literally me. But because of that, it's like Nakamura, please give my girl some more like legitimate character like development. I want to see, I want to see the psychology explore or whatever.
Well, that was what we were hoping to get from the. Yeah. So Rios has always wondered, can we get like a backstory for Nano?
Yes,
like what led to her obsession with efficiency?
Yeah. It's insane that we saw her studying at home. Last arc, and our parents never showed up once.
It's because she is a robot.
Yeah, I guess that's probably the actual explanation. She just is a robot.
No, I think, to me, unfortunately, for people who are looking for a deep Nano backstory, I think she might genuinely just be autistic. Like, that's really the vibe
but
I
not
get from
all
her.
autistic people are like that, so it's like you can't...
No, I know, but
that's
just that's her particular spectrum. Methinksies, you know what I mean? Like every time there's a baby chapter, Nano's first shot is her like lying on her back like a mummy in the most autistic way possible. Like she was born that way, girl. I'll be real.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you could still do interesting stuff about her. I would still like to see snippets of her childhood, like how she grew up. Like, I mean, we saw a bit of her in the Mimimi beauty pageant, right? I have a feeling that was probably her in elementary school too. Everyone like, oh my God, I just thought of a perfect one. Like her and like the other kids. It's like Christmas time, and they're talking about Santa Claus, and she's like, it's simply illogical to imagine someone that being able to travel around the world that fast and then like making kids cry and shit. But yeah, I mean, in terms of like her character, she has always kind of been B/C range for me. Like I think I like Hakari more than Nano. I don't not like Nano. But like, cause for me, she's always has just been like kind of right in the middle. She's totally average. I like her bits. I like her gags, but a little boring for me. I would probably put her low B, right below Hakari, or high C. Delicious fruit punch.
I mean, for me, I probably would have her like low A, high B. So I mean,
like I was thinking like
you be a tiebreaker.
Yeah, so because I've always liked Nano just because she's just so different. Like the weirdness of Nano is so different than compared to the weirdness of everyone else. And that's always just stood out to me. And also the fact that she is like almost a completely different character from when we met her to now, whereas everyone else is kind of still the same before. And like I've said this multiple times in the videos, that she was this character who learned how to be a person, basically, because at the beginning she's like, I don't want to do friends or love, or I just want to get good grades and then go get a good career and all that. Now she's like, well, now I have another reason for living. Whereas every other character, I mean, you could also argue for a couple other characters, but it's very few. Like that group who is now in a better spot because of Renter and all that is kind of small.
Ooh. I think this might be one of our first big disagreements. I think one of the things I like about this group is that practically all of them are in a better place because of Rentaro. It might not be huge, massive leaps of character development, but I think they're all happier and feel more able to be themselves.
Oh yeah, it's definitely...
That's kind of how I look at it,
Yeah, that's definitely true, but there are just more so than others. Some are more than others.
For sure. Oh yeah, I agree that Nano has, like, in terms of like the length that their character has developed, Nano is absolutely up there. Do we want to, if we're splitting the difference between ours, would it be high B or because you said A?
I said I'll settle for like low A.
Yeah, I said low A, high B.
Okay, fine.
We'll see how her gets. Like if we want to balance it out later.
That's fair. That's fair.
All right. Do we want to treat
is it
two Kasuris as two different characters?
That's hilarious. That's. I mean, honestly, yeah. I kind of feel I'm feeling that because like Kusuri 8 is. I mean, in some ways he's very different from Kusuri 18.
I don't know if we should do that. I think it's a one package deal. But if you guys really want to,
if you won't take me at my 8, you don't deserve me at my 18. I guess is. She's an 8, but she's 8.
The problem with Kusuri 18 is that we haven't seen her in so long. It's like she's almost like a non-existent character.
Literally was the last time the fucking I need to see a girl in ponytail or whatever, otherwise I'll die drug.
That wasn't a just quick background gag? Yeah. Like, because every other time since then, it's just been like a quick one background shot.
Back shot?
When did that?
Background.
I know I'm being funny.
He's got that back shot sneezes.
So I think we're just going to ignore 18 because she's literally non-existent.
Yeah. I think we should just, they should be the same, they're the same character. I'm sorry to say this. Yeah.
Kusuri she's the first filter girlfriend. Like, I mean, we talked about how there are some filters in the initial chapters, but I mean, this is the first girlfriend that they would legitimately filter out certain people.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you know what we mean when we say the great filters, Moonlight?
Based on context clues, I think I know what you guys are getting to.
Yeah, so in moments where normies will skip out of the series,
not even just normies. Like, I mean, even like I remember, normies. I'm not a normie, and Chiyo is like appears like okay, like the only reason now I was like Nakamura, you've given me like 50 or so chapters of great characters and great stories. So I'm gonna stick around to see where this goes. But if you do anything crazy, it's like I got that close tab button right.
That is so funny you mentioned that though, because for me, like Chiyo also did almost fuck with me. I was like, oh man, is this like too weird? But I had to lock in because I'm an anime boy. I've seen enough anime. Like it's just fiction. Yeah. But yes, the great filters. Like Kusuri's one of them. Chiyo's one of them. Hahari is one of them. And then I think the
Yaku's one of them. There one?
Yeah, probably. Yep, Yaku would be another. Yeah, if you can make it through all those, you're a real one.
Yeah.
But Kusuri.
I'm gonna go
here's my.
C.
Oh, please go ahead.
I'm gonna go with C.
Okay.
Because she does have a lot of funny moments. She does have a lot of funny moments, but I just don't like the reliance on Nakamura. Just feels like obviously Kusuri is a favorite of Nakamura in terms of
a good plot device.
Of just character in general. It seems like because he uses her for a lot of things. I think if we were to count who has the most on-screen appearances, Kusuri might be up there.
Yeah.
Because no matter what the group is, if it's a group chapter of some kind, Kusuri's there.
Well, at some point, he must have made the decision, I want them to start being able to get into wacky adventures, and what's the best way to facilitate that? I mean, even
8-year-old, that's how you do it.
Yeah.
The aquarium chapter, they can breathe underwater. The current chapter, I whipped up the baby drug for her.
Oh my God. Kusuri's introduction really did change, the nature of the story. Because before that, it was more or less just, a regular,
grounded-ish.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, there was the god showing up, so I guess that kind of artificially raises the ceiling of what we can see. But in terms of day-to-day events, Kusuri really changed just the direction. There was a before Kusuri and after Kusuri.
I mean, so here's my rant on Kusuri, and I kind of take this from more of a type of person she is angle. So in the beginning, she was almost instantly an F for me. In the beginning, mostly because you had the trifecta of refers to herself in third person. Always, kind of always a hate of that, to be honest with you. I don't even like it when Tama does it, to be honest with you. So refers to herself in the third person. The drug thing, but specifically the unconsensualness of the druggings, right?
Yeah.
She would just, in the beginning, she would, slip drugs into Rentero's thermos and shit. Very weird, instant red flag if you're trying to date someone. And then and then on the third, literally, right? Yeah, flip the roles. If it was a guy doing that to girls, it would be big, instant yikes, right? And then the third and final nail in the coffin was the shitting and pissing herself stuff. You know what I mean? And
I don't think she was shitting. It was.
You don't know that.
It was weird. It's weird.
Going to the bathroom was inconvenient.
I mean, I guess, yeah, but in terms of what was depicted on the page and the screen or whatever, it was 90% just.
But yeah, but what I have to give, this is what I love about Nakamura. Even with the stupidest of characters, there is character development, right? Mm-hmm. So like, she hasn't mentioned diapers or pissing herself in 100 chapters.
There was a change through the series, and I've been. Yep. I remember, if you guys remember from our first stream, I mentioned the friend that was reading the series and dropped it. He started reading the series again, and I warned him about this like stretch, and he just entered that stretch where it's between Chiyo and Yaku, where there was this change within Nakamura, and he dropped and changed so many things, and the toilet humor was one of those. Like around that time is when it just disappeared. And most of the horniness also disappeared too.
Yeah, when Hakari's booty mole became like a thing of the past.
It's not as much of an ecchi anymore. That's something Rios mentions a lot. Yeah, the loss of the booty mole. We barely see it anymore. But it probably was like a meta textual change from Nakamura's perspective. But I like to view it as a in-universe story change. There's that moment where they switch bodies, and she's like, "No, sir, Missy, you're going to the bathroom," right? I like to assume that basically from the moment she joined the family, for the next couple of weeks, anytime she mentioned like about to piss myself, they put their foot down, right? I like him because we see moments, and something I like about Rentaro is his ability to actually put his foot down. Like he's both not like an Andrew Tate, like women are my possessions, but he's also not like an uber simp where he's like, I worship women, whatever they want, I will do, right? He's not doing the Sanji shit, but he's also not doing like the Andrew Tate shit. He's a normal human being who, like, if they cross his boundaries or make him uncomfortable, he can kind of put his foot down. And to me, my personal headcanon is that Rentaro and the rest of the family was like, we can put up with the drug thing, we can put up with all this other things, even the 8-year-old thing, but you, if you're going to be part of this, you are going to go to the bathroom, Missy. So that's my personal headcanon, is that they basically just put their foot down. They were like, this is the one thing I'm going to need you to change for me. And that makes her character better in my head, thinking like this idea of like, they had a conversation, like an intervention with her, and was like, I'd like you to, for us, go to the bathroom.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't completely go away right away, because remember, the pissing thing was part of the drunk party.
Yeah.
But
I think that was more
a
nice slow
progression.
It was natural.
Yeah. It was definitely more within the it fit more in the context.
To me, the slowness of how it went away made it feel more realistic. Like it was something they were weaning her off of. You know what I mean? Like real potty training.
That Moonlight, it's become more contextually relevant rather than just being mentioned apropos of nothing every other. Like it's not part of her like gimmick anymore. It's like it's a thing that occasionally happens.
Sometimes she slips back into pissing herself a little.
It's not even that. It's just more like she's just the first one to bring it up. It's like, I can't remember what chapter it was, but Kusuri just kind of looks up at someone. It's like, did you wet yourself? Like that's like her first assumption.
You gotta go pee.
Some other, I guess, like honorable mentions is like, I love how much of a grandma's girl she is. Like, I mean,
that's
hilarious. Like,
it's fun
because she'll often be like, you better not be fuck. That's my grandma. Like she's kind of weirded out a little bit about the grandma not weirded out, but like a little jealous about the grandma joining the family. Like, wait, is she like everyone's grandma now? Because that's kind of fucked up. This is my grandma.
She was happy for Yaku to join, but then all of a sudden, like Tama and everyone is like cozying up to her, and it's like, no,
whoa.
Like, I didn't realize you would like her that much. Like,
yeah. Like, listen, I'm fine with my grandma getting railed by my boyfriend, but like the second she's my grandma still, okay?
Yeah, that lap is reserved for me and me alone. Okay, please.
Yeah, I need more moments where Kusuri comes, like she gets out of class and goes up to the fucking rooftop, and you have Nemu and fucking Tama sleeping on the lap, and she's just like pissed, like get the fuck off.
Jealous.
But yeah, no. So all that being said, for me, I have to, being objectively fair, I have to move her up from F because she has gotten better. I mean, two of the main things I didn't like about her, which was the unconsensual drugging and the pissing herself, have both stopped, essentially. And so to me, that's objective character development. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so I have to say, I mean, like for me, C tier, but like low C tier.
C tier.
Yeah, that's also where I had her as well. Yeah, it's like this
wow,
is like
perfect agreement. The triple C.
yeah, we get the C tier.
It's just also just kind of a shame that they've just dropped the whole, like, they say it themselves in the manga, it's like the 18-year-old's almost a completely different character because she never does it anymore, and I don't know if that's just a Nakamura preferring 8-year-old version because then now he has an excuse to write because I've always called her this, the hyper 8-year-old, and that's how she acts. And I almost feel like sometimes in the older series, she kind of did have this balance of, yes, I'm 8-year-old, but I'm still also 18, so I kind of bounce back and forth. Like, no, now she's just always hyper 8-year-old. When she's like,
it's interesting to. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, even in the few times we do see her in her 18-year-old form, she's acting like the 8-year-old. So she's almost regressed in that kind of way.
I'm glad you brought that up
because like she's been 8 for so long that it's actually starting to fundamentally change her as a person.
In the beginning, it felt like her brain, and it probably is, right? Like her brain chemistry is like literally changing as she's changing between these forms, because like she's the same person. When she's 8, she's just more childish. So seemingly, like her brain is like simplifying.
I mean, she spends 23 hours as an 8-year-old for like this. Obviously, we have no idea how much time has passed. I mean, Moonlight did a whole like archaeologist style dig to try and figure out, and unfortunately couldn't find anything.
Oh, Moonlight, that recent that recent daily life where Tama was like, oh, this time of year, this bench is perfect. And when I heard, I was like, what time of year?
It's just spring. It's just all it is. It's just spring.
Yes.
But yeah, no, I mean, good.
Like, I mean, yeah, like I was gonna continue on like about like I mean, yeah, she probably is just literally like she spends most of her time as 8-year-olds, but like just forgetting or like no longer having the influence of the 18-year-old body on her personality. Just, I mean, yeah, that is me headcanon now.
Oh, it's like one of the funnest things to do in this series. There's so much room for headcanon. It's crazy. But yeah, and then another thing that I'd be remiss not to mention is just that like her 18-year-old form is one of the most physically attractive in all of the series.
God.
She's fucking amazingly hot.
I will never forgive
sad.
Nakamura for not doing it the other way around, where it's like she spends like 90% of the time as the 18-year-old. And then we get the little occasional time for like, that'd be a great way to justify like why did Kusuri give you this drug? Oh, well, because she was 8 years old, so it made it much easier.
Ooh, she gets 1 hour a day of being a little gremlin.
Like Hahari specifically times her like requests when she's 8 in that type of universe.
She's like, easier to manipulate when she's 8. Did you see Moonlight put adult Kusuri in SSS?
I honestly think that's just Nakamura trolling us.
That's fair.
Yes,
me too.
As someone who was right, I can appreciate trolling. I do love a little trolling on my part, but it's painful when you're the viewer or the reader.
It's like, here's the hottest character in the series, but you're never gonna see her.
Yeah. We've been talking about wanting we just got the Nano serious arc, and we've gotten Karane serious arc, and we kind of got the Hakari serious arc with the retrieval. So if we're going to keep going through them, we should be getting the Shizuka serious arc within the next year, right?
Well, the Shizuka one...
Oh, right, I'm sorry. My name. I apologize. I just fucked up the name. Yes. Kusuri serious arc. We already got the Shizuka serious arc. And I was saying I would love to get a serious Kusuri arc that involves her actually, like, going to that, like, super serious, like, school, college she wants to, but that would require time passing, of course.
Yes.
Or just
because we saw, she had the letter. She was going to send in the fucking drug to get approved to the super serious college she wanted to go to, right? But that just got to, I guess she just chose Polycule instead. She was like, fuck my future. I guess I'm just going to be here.
Yeah, I still think, like, the early... I refer to this series as there's before the Hanazono Mansion arc and after. It feels like two different series. And I think beforehand, we probably wouldn't be stuck in this time bubble that we were in. It definitely feels like there could have been some progression with characters and time and all that. But then something happened and Nakamura was like, you know what? It's just easier to write them like they're the Simpsons or something. And so any kind of like future development of like, I'm going to apply to this college and all stuff like that just went out the window, and he's never tackled anything like that again.
I can only pray.
Yeah, I'm just praying that he's going to do like he's going to make an arc out of it. Like, why have we been stuck in...
That would be awesome. Like, whenever he feels ready, finally, to do it, it's like it becomes a big plot point where they like... I mean, that was mentioned with...
That's the nice about the series. Like, any issue that is in there could be addressed literally in the text. Like, it's so fourth wall breaking all
Well, it was mentioned in the Herapocalypse arc where they're like, like the cherry blossoms were blossoming at a weird time or whatever. They're like, I thought it was just animated consistency.
My own personal headcanon is the forever spring is repercussion from the god of infinity.
Ooh.
Yeah, you not only will you meet all your soulmates in your high school, you'll meet them all in the first semester of your first year of high school.
Well, I mean, maybe God of Infinity. I had said previously that like the Love God fuck up was so intense that basically time will be frozen until he meets all the girls. Like essentially, like because normally this would be him meeting one soulmate, but now he has to go through meeting 100 in the time that it would take to meet one.
Yeah, this is really the make or break, because we're recording this right before Girlfriend 33 comes out, and 33 is like the right 1/3 mark of the way done.
Oh, 1/3 exactly.
So
yeah.
it's like if we don't get any kind of development, or at least mention of like, yeah, we're eventually going to get to summer or something by now, I don't think it's ever going to happen until Nakamura is just desperate.
I would be so happy, bro. Do you know how happy Moonlight is gonna be if the next chapter? It's like that's why there's a break, because there's gonna be this big moment where like time shifts. How happy would you be, Moonlight?
Like,
I have to imagine you'd have like a celebration.
Like, I'm just gonna do the video. It's like, I'm free.
I need fucking Earl to like edit like shackles on you, and you're like breaking out of that.
No, because what I always had the idea is like, if we ever do get a jump in time and we get some kind of confirmation, any kind of confirmation, like I'm waiting for someone's birthday to be acknowledged in the series.
Please.
If we get any kind of just here's a stamp in time that I can mark down, I'm gonna make a video of, okay, here's from chapter 1 to chapter whatever it is, and then try to divide that into how is this realistic. So it's like 200 chapters, and we did this in the span of like 4 months, so he was literally picking up a girl every single day at that rate. You know, the one that fucked me up was did you either of you two watch classic Yu-Gi-Oh?
I didn't. Maybe Rios did.
I did see. It was one of the things I'd see like in the morning.
Totally missed that boat, unfortunately.
So there's this. The most popular seasons of that show was season 2 and 3. I forget how they organize it, but it's basically like season 2 and 3, or like 2 and a half. But the entirety of that season, and there was like this tournament, then there was this side event that happened that was also like a whole season's worth, and then the finale of that tournament, and all of that took place over a weekend. And it probably,
how long did it take to air? Like years?
Yeah, like 3 to 4 years.
Woo!
But if you were to actually pay attention to the time of the episodes, this whole thing of like your friends are getting threatened to be killed almost regularly all happened over the span of like a weekend. So yeah, you enter this tournament where your life is in danger. You guys get kidnapped into a virtual world where you have to fight for your life, and then you have to go to the finale of the tournament where you're also fighting for your life, and then you go to school the next day because this tournament just happened over a weekend. It's like the weirdest.
I'm gonna need to have like a couple days off from school to recover from that.
It's like you get back to school. It's like, so how was your weekend, Yugi?
I almost died like 3 times.
Well, should we maybe I'm gonna be the one to try to get us back on track.
Right.
Kusuri, we just did, right? C tier.
Yeah, I think we all agree on C
tier.
So
it's Hahari time, huh?
It's Hahari.
Good timing. Good timing.
That's
guys. We have a recent chapter to really go off of.
Yes.
It's like mommy.
Let's start.
I do feel like. To get the negative things out of the way. I mean, it does feel like Hahari has been kind of flanderized, one-notified, just to be the baby maniac thing. Like, it's like
her best chapter. It's a chapter where it's like a solo date with Rentaro and her, and he gets her like a high school outfit.
Yeah.
And she's like just genuinely like breaking down like, I wish I was your age, I wish I was in high school with you. And it's like, it's so clear her trauma. I mean, like she knows that she just destroyed any possibility of having a childhood. She didn't get to go to, I don't think she went to high school, to be honest with you. I think once she gave birth to Hakari, she just kind of stayed home, either got homeschooled or just because she's rich, she just didn't need it. Like it feels pretty clear to me that like, this trauma of what the decisions she made and was enabled to do by her rich-ass parents really fucked her up. And it's also, I mean, it's classic. I hate to, I don't like using this word too much on a guest channel, but I mean, it's the pedophilic nature of Hahari, it comes from this weird thing in her brain where I don't think she feels the age that she is. And that's not an excuse. She still needs to go to jail, but I think that it's interesting to kind of theorize why she's the way she is, right? And to me, it seems very clear that she is like, in her head, wishes she was young, a child like them. And like something that I brought up, I was having this conversation with Allie, like I said, at lunch, and like it's something that sometimes I forget about this, but like when we hear her say things like, oh yeah, like when you were an infant, I was like tonguing you to check your temperature or whatever. As a reminder, Hahari was 13. a middle schooler at that age, right? So like that kind of change. It's still bad, but it changes the dynamic a little. Like you're imagining
I think it changes it in. I mean, it's bad in different ways.
Yeah, now it's just sad. It's like child-on-child trauma. One of them is you just have to imagine Hahari was immensely, deeply sad. Like, just a sad, probably very suicidal person when she had Hakari. And I think that she probably projected this weird obsessive love she had over Hakari's dad onto Hakari herself.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Which is where the weird
it's supposed to be a replacement, basically.
Yep. Yeah. So I mean, that's the crazy part. Like,
oh my god, we remember that discussion we had about the boy mom thing. Moonlight to describe it. It's like I saw this whole like a YouTube video essay about like describing the messed up psychological like dynamic that goes on between like mama's boys and their mothers. And like, one of the things they brought up is that these mothers often treat their sons as like a replacement boyfriend because oftentimes their husband or daddies is not there or emotionally or physically. But, I mean, like, apparently Hahari had the daughter mom as opposed to a boy mom. She made Hakari her replacement boyfriend almost, and I guess Rentaro ended up.
She needed something to love. I think she had such an obsessive love, and she wanted something to channel it into.
I mean, she outright said it when she realized he was dying that she wanted to make sure that he was like remembered on her, that something was left behind to prove that he existed, and that would be his child.
Yeah, and then her mentality with that led her to do weird, illegal shit. Yes. And like, it's fascinating because, like, you know, you can look at her character from like the parody manga angle and be like, ha ha ha, wacky pedophile character. But then, like, if you really start thinking about her, it's like, wow, she has a lot of trauma and there's a lot of depth that can be explored. It just needs to be. So I hope that it is one day. I mean, like I said, Allie and I were discussing it'd be really cool if we had like a genuine, I would love a whole chapter where it's just Hakari and her mom, and they just sit down and they just kind of unpack their trauma together. Group therapy with Hakari and Hahari, essentially. I would really, really like that, because, I mean, it's she has so much trauma, it almost makes you, like, feel bad for her, even when she's doing all this, like, really gross shit. You're like, man, she is just a broken person.
I'm definitely going to bring that up, like, in my review, my video that I'm writing right now, is she is a broken character. Now, granted, it's definitely viewed as flanderized, and in some ways it is just flanderization. But another level beneath that is, like, as you said, it's trauma, but also at the same time, is a good point that someone in the Discord brought up, where she, not once throughout this latest chapter was she ever flustered about taking care of all these kids. She gave them all individual needs. So she was like acing this whole thing. So it's like, it's not like she's bad at it. So
did you watch any of our review at all or no?
Not yet, no.
I won't judge you I know you're busy.
Especially our long ass videos.
Well, so I mean, that was a discussion we had in ours. It was like 70% of the chapter she's doing like cute mom shit. You know, like I think the one that really stood out to me was when Mai drops the salt in there and she's like, "Oh, extra salt's no problem." And she's just such a good mom until she gets weird and sexual about it, and that comes from her trauma. And again, not an excuse. Straight to jail still, but like it's fascinating
like
stuff.
What's the worst for justified, even though it's a bad thing? It's like something along that line.
There's got to be a word for that. But that's and what you said earlier about like the flanderization, like it's only flanderization because it's been so long since we've seen her other side, right? Like I need another chapter like the one I mentioned where we see her kind of crying and emotional and breaking down about like what she wishes her life was like. More conversations like that from her, or the one where we see it early on when she first joins, where Hakari's like, "Mother, I need you to stop being so silly," and then she actually takes a step back and she's like, "You're right, I'm sorry." Like that, I need more of that from Hahari. Nakamura needs to like sprinkle that in along with the wacky shit to remind us that she's like still human. And that conversation will come up again during Iku, because I feel like Iku's been very flanderized lately as well, and that's been an issue I've been having as an Iku fan.
And last thing I was going to bring up, at least regarding to this chapter, is I do think the weirdness of this timing of this baby chapter, because considering there was a pretty solid pace of like, we did this about every 8 girlfriends or so, but now we did it at 5, and the fact that, granted, I don't know the full...
It was different, too. The whole formula was different.
The formula was different, and the fact that I don't know what the Raws called it, but the fact that Zune called it
the
end of Evangelion.
Oh, the ending. Yeah, maybe. Oh,
this might be like at least an end for now, at least maybe for a lot longer than we normally think. In a way, if you see this almost feels like a bookend closing of Hahari got her wish of being the only adult and just taking care of everyone as a baby. Like she got her wish that she
she's always wanted.
That's what she wanted from the very first baby chapter. So this feels like a bookend to this. Now I doubt it's gone for good. Like we have 60 more girlfriends to go, but I think it might change. Or
it'll be a new structure.
That'd be interesting.
When it comes back, it'll be like the sequel, but it'll be like a different structure.
It'll be a different structure. It'll just be a different way of doing it, I think. And now, because they've already reset the counter down to 0 again after 5, we're now looking at like another 8 to 10 girlfriends, which is like 2 more years from now.
Wait, let me cook for a second, okay? We are 1 chapter away from the 1/3 mark of this series, and he chooses now to end the long-running baby segment. So, it's copium, but like if we're looking to shake up the formula of the series hardcore, that's the time to end the baby segment.
You know, you sound exactly like me after the Flower Day chapter, where I said, why is Rentaro proposing to these random 4 girlfriends? Like, why not another 10 from now or 25? Why 4? Because we're gonna move into summer because it's girlfriend 30 with Saki. He's like, nope.
Yeah, we're like doomsday cultists. Like everything is fine. Like, oh, like maybe this is the sign where like this part of the story's ending. We're entering a new era, and it's like no, it's like
and more of the same.
Could it be that maybe we're just looking too into this series? No, it's Nakamura who's wrong.
All right. So after all of that, where do we want to place Hahari? I think we put her right in B.
Ooh, do I agree with that? Okay, here's the question, right? This is one of the ones where we have to decide, are we ranking her based on character complexity, or are we ranking her based on quality of human being?
Considering she's a fictional character, I think we gotta go on character.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Then, yeah, I mean, I think objectively she's more interesting than her daughter.
I've said that in my last video.
Yeah, above Hakari. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I think I even said it. Like, she's more of an interesting... She has more levels to her than Hakari does.
Yeah.
Like, she can be the serious, like, I am the adult, I am a chairwoman, I am a business runner. Like, that part of her does come out every once in a while.
Yeah, we didn't see any weirdness from her in the aquarium, for example. Like, she was just, like, sitting there all sexy. Like, yeah, I paid for this whole thing.
Blah, 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 blah. Like, she was, like, even her translated bubble sounds were just blah, 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 blah. That's her second language, baby.
You can't see drool underwater. Fantastic. Who's next? Well, I mean,
one thing I do want to talk about regarding Hahari is, like, you know, her introduction was... You know, but that's a crazy bait and switch where, like
yes,
we didn't know what she was a girlfriend at first. And
I mean, so good how we did it with the eye blocking thing. I mean, that was fucking Shakespeare, bro.
Yeah, and also, I mean, her reaction to, I mean, obviously the extremity of her reaction to finding out that her daughter was in like a 6-person or 4-person polycule was a little extreme, but I mean that was a very reasonable. Like I think that was like definitely like
you have to think to her what her childhood was. To me it makes total sense. She wasn't correct, obviously, but she had a childhood where she went off the fucking deep end in middle school, got so obsessed with a boy that she made herself pregnant. So here she is seeing her. Oh, daughter, are you in a 6-person polycule, 5-person polycule right now? That sounds a lot like some weird shit I would have done at your age. Let me fucking nip this in the bud real quick.
Yeah, I mean that was like an instance of a very reasonable, you know, like I think one of the very few like reasonable, like I guess, challenges to like this whole polyamory relationship is like I mean we haven't really. You know,
the only other one would be Shizuka's mom a little bit.
Yeah. You know, something that I also wanted to bring up, I guess, you know.
I want more of that, by the way, from the parents, because I remember when Hahari first showed up, and it was as like a parent who was kind of weirded out by this concept, I thought it was going to be a regular thing, because I was like, yeah, I mean, I think most parents of girls would be like, excuse me, you're dating my daughter and like 6 other women? That's kind of weird. I don't like that.
It's like playing, like you're messing with.
We see a bit of it with why do I keep forgetting the scientist's name? I'm like having a stroke.
Kusuri.
Thank you. Yeah, it's like so obvious. Anyway, Kusuri, we see it with Kusuri's dad at first, you know, because he's like a fucking 8-year-old as well, and he's like, hey, tough guy, you want to fucking fight?
He's got the gun on, like the shotgun on his like lap, and like, you're like, what is your intention with my daughter, kind of.
I brought this up a couple times in the Discord where it's like, how many parents actually know the state of their daughter's relationship? And I'm like,
I think a lot of them do.
I think it's like only Hakari/Hahari, the Kusuri, because we have Yaku as well as the dad and all that. Yep. And I think that's
Shizuka's. Shizuka's mom.
I mean,
I'm pretty
Shizuka
sure.
knows
Or
that
no, just
she knows that Shizuka's in a
like, did they?
relationship, but I don't think she knows about the family.
Right. I forgot. Her
crazy.
problem wasn't even the fact that it was a fucking polycule. She just thought that he was like white knighting for like the disabled girl.
Yeah.
Oh my
Wow.
god, can you imagine?
And there's just
Yeah,
been no
if
hints
she
of
knew
it.
he was dating like however many other girls, that would have been it. There would have been no saving that situation.
There is going to be, whenever the wedding happens, there's going to
my
be
God, yeah.
all these parents that don't know
why-
are going to be like,
why-
wow, there's a lot of cars in the parking lot.
Yeah, like why did the occupants or like the member list say like 700? Like
Why did we have to rent out a
invited?
football stadium for this wedding?
Why is the entire school here?
Oh my lord.
God, it writes itself. It writes itself. Oh,
But yeah,
it's gonna be so good.
Oh, Chiyo, Uncle Hero knows too.
Ooh,
But yeah, it's
man,
like, it's not
so like, and
many.
I got a question real quick. So when he met Karane's family, do they know, or do they just think it's Rentaro?
I think they think it's just Rentaro because there was no other
Yeah.
talk. It was just like, is this your boyfriend? And obviously from context clues, like, yeah, this is my boyfriend. And oh yeah, Rentaro even said, yeah, I'm dating Karane, but he made no mention of anything else.
Man. Sneaky motherfucker.
Yeah. Yeah, smart boy over
Oh,
here. He's not trying to make it more difficult than it
Oh,
needs to be.
those classmates of Kusuri and Kishika, they know.
Yeah, those random this is something, I don't know if we discussed this, Moonlight, but like I'm kind of disappointed that the rumor hasn't spread around a little more. You'd think it would by now.
We talked
like,
about that in the stream where, in Saki's introduction, like the word is getting definitely around more, where there's this group that hangs out on the rooftop.
Yeah, they think it's a gang. They don't know it's a polycule yet.
And then, there was Ike Mentaro, who was also, and the girl, and was like, wait, you have 29 other or you have 31 other girlfriends? And they didn't really elaborate beyond that, but at least they know.
They probably, honestly, I think if you heard that, you would assume that he
you
was
think-
like exaggerating or lying, right? Rather than
Yeah.
Like it's a
There's
biblical
gotta be
42 days, 42 nights kind of thing. It's like
I need a moment. Yes, I need a moment where it becomes like that could be a serious arc in and of itself, where like it really becomes like school-wide news somehow. Like something gets out.
I'm amazed the journalist.
The journalist girl.
Didn't find that out. She found out about all the crazy shit Hahari's up to, but she didn't. Maybe she doesn't care. She's like, whatever.
Before we move on from Hahari, this is something I've wanted to mention to Moonlight for a while too. We were talking about how I was rewatching the hide and seek episode, not rewatch. I was seeing for the first time the hide and seek episode in the anime, and there's that part where she's to the vice principal like, maybe I should fire her, and I thought about it and I was like, the vice principal and her have this weird like mutually assured destruction thing, because like I have a feeling I can visualize like Hahari pulling in the vice principal and like giving her like the ultimatum, like, okay, you do need to like lock in or I gotta fire you, and then the vice principal would be like, bitch, you know how much shit I got on you? Are you kidding me? like if you take me down, you're going with me. You know what I mean? Like I think that's the dynamic. I genuinely think that's why that she can't fire her, because I can see the vice principal being like, bitch, you and I are the same. Are you kidding me right now?
Oh yeah, I think that's just a unwritten rule of like the whole thing is I think multiple teachers are kind of aware, are faculty members, because also I'm pretty sure Torotoro or Tororu, whatever the fuck her name is, knows well, because she had pictures with not just Hakari and Rentaro and Hahari, but like other girls too. Like she specifically says getting, what's the word? It's like getting in debaucherous acts with other students. So like she's aware.
That needs to be a serious arc, by the way, where like she gets like kind of caught, and then there's like this big like court drama or something.
One of the people involved becomes Rentaro's girlfriend, and that's like that's solves
the
whole
judge.
issue right
The
away.
judge becomes Rentaro's girlfriend, and then she's just like corrupt about it, and she's like not guilty, and they're like, what?
No, that's how we get lawyer girlfriend.
That's an anticlimax. I wouldn't necessarily mind, but yeah.
Supersedes the fucking jury somehow. Like, no, this jury. I actually think this jury is biased. Okay, should we move on?
Kurumi.
I love Kurumi. I'm the resident tomboy lover over here. You give me a tomboy, I'm eating good. Also, I'm a big believer that you can describe every real human being as a combination of 2 to 3 girlfriends from this story. And my girlfriend, my real life girlfriend Allie, is a mixture of Kurumi and Nemu, in my opinion. She's sleepy, but she also gets a little hangry, and she likes food. Yes. I just as a quick aside, what 2 to 3 girlfriends would you describe yourself as, Moonlight? I don't know if I've asked you this before.
Trying to think.
Love God.
Love God and All the members of the Jurassic baseball team.
Fuck yeah. You can think about it
yeah.
if you want. I'm sorry.
I want to say like a little bit of Nano, a little bit of Himika, maybe a little bit.
Ooh, a fellow Nano kinner.
Yeah.
Rios?
Yeah, I would also. Yeah, Nano is also big. Like, I'm written in shades of Nano as well, or painted, I guess.
Rios is like Rin, but with lewdness, is how he always describes himself.
Because Rin is like a proper girl public persona, whereas I'm like a Nano guy in my public persona. I mean, I guess also in my private.
All that to say, Kurumi. Tomboy. Love that element of her. This is another one where one of my favorite things to think about when it comes to Kurumi is actually her dynamic with the family. She is one of the examples of a girl who I think's life is like drastically improved by being in the polycule. And specifically because, I mean, like, the way I view her thing is that she has, like, a genuine condition, right? I mean, she literally describes it as, I digest food faster. So, like, I choose to, like, and to me, it's, like, genuinely tragic. Like, when she's fed, she's, like, one of, like, the sweetest, kindest, most loving girls. She's a happy floof ball of love. Similar to, like, Karane post-tsundere, right? I mean, I have to imagine up until this point joining the polycule, she's probably, like, angry, has a headache, dizzy. I mean, have you ever felt hungry? It's a shitty feeling, right? So, like, imagine being, like, hungry, dizzy, angry, headache. But once you join the polycule, she's probably only feeling that, like, 20 to 30% of her day, right? And that's like, a genuine improvement to your day. That's like better than like medications that they could do for like a serious illness, right? I mean, that's a huge improvement to your daily life. So that's what I like about Kurumi is her relation with the family. Honestly, A to S, high A, low S for me.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. She's definitely gotten better. Like the Disney Day chapter was really propelled her for me. And not the date, but like the outing with Mei Mei was also really good. And it just felt like her gimmick of being constantly hungry and angry when she's hungry has definitely fallen off, and I think for the better. It really only comes up when it's like really needed for like a joke or a plot device or something. It's because outside of that, she's just more of a straight man tsundere more than anything now regarding food. And I think that's just an interesting development for her because probably, like you said, her life has gotten better. Like quality of life has gotten better.
Yeah.
I agree. Like in A, I think A is pretty good.
Okay. Is she above or below Nano? How do we feel about that?
As a character,
I put her above. That's me.
In terms of being like an enjoyable character, I could say that.
Yeah, I mean, I think as a character, she definitely has a lot of like sort of like the best, I guess like what's the word, like sort of like the best incarnation of a character in this setting, where it's like, you know, he has her thing, but it's not like it hasn't been gimmickified, you know, it's not
it has been flanderized.
Yeah.
She's one of the least flanderized girls.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and we still, you know, we get to see so much like nuance to her character, which I definitely.
Like the best example of that is the Disney Day, because not once did she get angry from the food. She was less about this being angry, hungry person, but more like, I'm just a foodie who wants to go enjoy this cool food.
Yeah, and if it makes sense she wouldn't get angry because that whole day all they're doing is eating. You know, and like to me that's so cool. Like,
so I think just the way that her character is handled, I'd keep her in high A's.
Fuck yes, God, I love Kurumi.
Another interesting thing about her is, you know, she was one of the first girlfriends to be like, fuck you, Polycule, I'm just here for Rentaro.
Yes!
And she had to be convinced to be like, oh, you know, maybe these gals ain't so bad. And
I love watching people. I want them to happen more, because the further we get into the girlfriends, the more they just like instantly accept it. And you can almost chalk it up to peer pressure, because if you walk up there and there's 30, you're like, okay, clearly, like, even though I'm having apprehensions, there's 30 of them.
Yeah, we've seen that happen with Aira, for example, where he's like, the only thing that stopped her was like, oh, yeah, if they get too crazy, I can kick them. It's similar thing happened with Meru, but she was like, this is insane, but she was like, it's fairy tale-y, so I guess the insanity is okay.
I really like the idea though that like one of them goes up there and they're like, this is insane, but like there's 30 of them. So like just like statistically, if this was bad, would there be that many people sticking around? Like it's got to be good, right?
This is why. And I kind of went into this side tangent. I don't know if any of you watched my anime reactions.
I have watched.
I haven't.
But I went on this side tangent in Mimimi's introduction episode, where Mimimi's introduction is like a special one to me because it's one of the very few. The whole idea of like they have this conversation. Like, clearly, Rentaro and the new girlfriend will always have this conversation. Like, hey, you know, I actually have 30 other girlfriends, just to let you know. But we never see it. But Mimimi is one of the few ones where we actually see that.
We do.
And Mimimi was the first one to say, hey, like 9 other girlfriends, does that include or not include me? And the fact that she went to that originally, that was her first question, was like, I'm okay with this. I just want some details.
Yeah, I want more of that. I really don't want them to skip around so much. I want to see the different ways that the girls react to that. I mean, I guess we kind of got it with, now that I think about it, we got it with Hasu, the newest, where she was like, I don't care if I'm like one of your side bitches, if I can just smell you.
Yeah, see, like, and I said that, I was like, I want more of this, because when I was doing the video, and I think it's still true, is the only characters where we physically see the conversation between Rentaro and them and him explaining to the new girl, hey, you know, there's a bunch of us, like, we're all this one big happy relationship thing, was Mimimi, a little bit with Uto, when he was describing all the girlfriends to her, and Himika, where Rentaro said, it's like, I have the love of my 25 girlfriends with me. It's like, what do you mean you have 25 other girlfriends?
Right, because for her, that was the way that
was hilarious. This idiot was trying to convince her to be together with, like, the whole chapter with this random normal. It's like, just tell her that you're in this huge ass polycule. That's literally all. That's the most abnormal thing about you. Like, I guess for Rentaro, just like, well, I mean,
well, to Rentaro, it's like everyone should be doing this. This is peak, yeah.
And what could be abnormal about just loving your girlfriend? But
we did get a little bit of it with Kishika too. As like you said, she got up to the roof and she's like, "This is insane," but. But I'm gonna justify it because...
And then we got that interesting thing with Kishika where she's like kind of weird. She was kind of not weird, nervous to be vocal about it and open up because of her pride.
And just, but she's like, I can't imagine loving anyone else, so I guess I'll just accept it.
Yeah, well, I mean, Rentaro just blows all other men out of the water. It's like, well, anything else would be a downgrade at this point.
So I like, I definitely obviously that wouldn't be good for like every girlfriend, but I think like every once in a while we get to see that point of the explanation of and just see what is their logic of like accepting this.
Yeah, and I want to see more girls where they meet them outside of school as well. Like, when was the last? Was that Tama? Or I'm trying to... No. Who? I can't remember. It was Himika after Tama or before?
Himiko's after.
Yeah, Himiko was...
Okay, so yeah, because he met her in like a random fucking
he did.
Right?
Matsuri
was at a festival.
I think that was
okay, so maybe it was her?
Because I remember he met Nemu like...
Oh, no, Nemu was like at a construction site. Because she was about to kill herself by walking into like equipment.
Yeah, so
I mean, okay, like, you know what? Yeah, I guess I just have a bad memory. We get it plenty.
I just find it funny. It's like I'm meeting all these girls outside of school, yet they all just so also happen to go to my school, or at least the adjacent middle school.
Yeah, I will never forget when they debated us into thinking, like with Uto, like, oh wow, yeah, we're gonna have like abroad girlfriends. That, like, no, actually.
I mean, I think the first example that was Hahari. It was like before she became the
he was gonna just visit her at the mansion.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind it. I think it'd be cool if we kind of brought... And I desperately want Nakamura to do some big thing now that it's a third of the way. I don't know if he will, but I want it. But, like, it'd be so cool if they shift up the kind of dynamic where it's like, oh, no, like, the cast, we can have, like, the girls that are here on the roof. We can have the girls that he has to kind of, like, travel to go visit. That'd be cool. I'd like that.
Yeah, I mean, we have time. Like, I mean, Nakamura, you know, I don't think... Like, you don't have to finish the story in a timely manner. Like, we're willing to stick stick with it. Like, we have examples, like a One Piece and like Naruto, where people will stay with the story for a decade plus. You don't need to be like rushing to get.
I'll be here till I'm 70 at least.
Speaking of, we gotta do Mei now.
Mei.
This is where we're gonna fight.
For me, oh no, you know I just don't like maids. It's never been a thing I'm into.
It's not even the fact that she's a maid. That's the downside for me. It's the like entire dedication where her life revolves around being the maid. Like, I just don't like it.
To me, that feels like the natural place for a character like that to go. Because, like, in order to be... I guess unless it's just like, no, it's just my job.
Yeah.
But, like, it makes sense that that's what her character is, and I think that there are people that are into that, I guess. Which, I mean, like, I don't want to instantly say a red flag if you're into that, but, like, it's...
I mean, the acts of service is one of the love languages.
And, I mean, but that's for the pleasure of the one giving the acts of service, not the one...
Oh, yeah, but I mean, certainly Mei is, like, the apotheosis of acts. I love to give acts of service to my lover. So I mean,
right, and that's awesome.
It is at the point where even like I think even if you are in that sort of thing, you'd be like, please do something for yourself. Like I mean, you can't.
It's like there's a point to it where it's like yeah, you have this, you're dedicated to your job, you love your person that you're employed to, especially because you're thankful for her because you get the backstory of that Hahari saved her. So it's like, okay, I get that, but then there's also comes the point of when we see them out on like solo dates with Rentaro and she's still not doing it to her for herself in any kind of regard. It's like it gets to the point of being unrealistic, which, okay, yeah, this is a series where we regularly turn into babies, but there's just a point where like, okay, I can accept that, but this accepting that this woman is just so unselfish to the point of just it's insane. So it's, I don't know, it just makes it for a
to me it's not it's not unbelievable. I can believe that someone like that exists. There's a lot of different types of people. It's more of just, is it entertaining to watch, and or is this someone that I'd want to hang out with? And for me the answer is no to both. I don't hate her. She's probably the lowest a character can go without me getting into hate tier, and there's only like 2 that I once maybe would have considered that I hated, and even them I'm like lightening up on. But like for me, she's like low C, high D, mostly just because she bores me. You know, I just think she's just kind of there. Yeah. She's just in the background. I don't even think her like shtick adds a lot to the series, to be honest with you.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, he had some great gags. I mean, like the fucking saving Hahari's soul when it would like that little era of gag was pretty good. But I mean,
she has decent gags, but that's really all it is. And
I mean, I think she's probably one of the best examples of like an incredibly glacially slow character arc in among this cast. Like, I mean, you know, she's been growing just really slowly. Like that era chapter with her was
that's probably her best chapter.
The most like the inflection point of her like character, and we haven't really seen too much of the effects of that, I guess.
I believe that we will get more for her, no doubt.
Yeah.
But like, for me, it really is just, I have total ambivalence with her character. Like, she really is just like there for me. That's always kind of from the beginning. Like, that's how she's been for me. I'm sorry, Mei fans.
I will say though, I find it's kind of funny. It's like I said this when the last volume extras came out, and we had that like extra picture of Mei and Ira at the spawn. I'm like, you know, Mei actually is kind of attractive when she's not in her maid uniform.
Yes. Yeah. Well, yeah, it's just, I don't think any of us here are into the maid thing. There are people that are all obsessed with it. I mean, like, every convention that I've ever gone to that's, like, semi-weeb adjacent has, like, a maid cafe. There's clearly something to it.
Maids
it's not for me.
Definitely interesting. I mean, I think every permutation of that character archetype has been depicted at least somewhere in the annals of anime history. But I mean, I do think, because, you know, obviously Nakamura is often taking, you know, standard tropes, and like, I mean, Karane Tsundere is like a prime example. But yeah, I think this was probably an example where, like, I mean, you know, what can you do with the maid character? Like, you know, like he didn't do a very good job of like subverting it in like a sort of like generally interesting way, the way he did with like say Karane.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, I think it's basically, like I said, the exact path I would have expected for a maid character. So yeah, I don't hate her, I don't love her, she's just kind of there. And I assume we agree pretty much on that.
Yeah.
D?
Yeah.
All right. I'll start, because I'm the Iku guy, and I've been the Iku guy for a long time. When Iku first joined, she was my favorite. She was my favorite for a while. And I still really like her. I have to admit that she has probably gotten the most flanderized. And what really, I mean, like, this most recent chapter, her catching the ball with her ass, just really, I was just like, man. Rios and I had a discussion about this, where, like, it could have, a much better thing you could have done there. And it's not even, like, I'm not saying, because it wasn't even sexualized. Like, it wasn't like it was like a, ooh, but my headcanon to make Iku good was that I didn't just look at her thing as, like, she's just a masochist. And I guess it's not even really headcanon if you look at her backstory, but, like, the idea with her is supposed to be she views pain as improving as a person. She takes the no pain, no gain to its limits. Maybe now she does, but in the beginning, when we first met her, I don't think she views anything she does as sexual, period. I think she just thinks she's, like, on that hustle, on that grind set. You know, she just thinks pain is going to improve me as a person. So I would have loved... So this obsession with the butt thing, well, funny, I wish it happened a little less. because and something Rios always says too is like, when was the last time we saw this girl play a sport, pick up a bat?
I said that too.
To hit a ball. Right?
When did I say that? Was it? It was either in the video or in the Lost tier list video that I did. But yeah, it's like literally, when has anything sport or baseball related come up with her?
And I miss it because like that when she first joined, I thought she was so well balanced. I just rewatched her episode with Dylan. I'm getting my buddy Dylan into the series, and he instantly loved her. And we had the same point where we were like, she's so not Flanderized, or she's so like diverse as a character, because he has like a 1.5-minute conversation with her before her like shtick even comes up. Like it's just a real conversation where she's like, join girls baseball. He's like, I'm not a girl. She's like, oh right, sorry. And then she's like talking about her baseball and her team, and it's like, oh my god, you're a real person, like, and that's what I like 100 Girlfriends character to be, a real person with like a weird thing that they kind of like hide but can show around the family. And the more Iku has gone on, the more she's, and like for a while I liked it because I was like, okay, I like the idea that she's getting more comfortable coming out with her, clearly it's a kink, coming out with her kink around the family. That's fine. But I do want to see her have real human interests outside of that. You know what I mean? And so yes, I'm
obsessed with the kink. It's it's getting a little unhealthy. You gotta have some other things in your life, girl. You can't just all be kink.
Yeah. So for me, she's gone from an S to an A recently. Just because I still really love her, and I'm holding on to hope that she'll bring it back. But she is fallen for sure.
Yeah, it's like. That's why I got like so hopeful when we got the Hasuwa focus chapter where it's like the class from 1-3. It's like, oh, okay, cool. Yamame and Iku.
Yes.
I was like, cool, these characters are barely getting anything and they're kind of Flanderized, and cool, now we're going to focus on them for a bit. And it's, I mean, Yamame came out better that chapter than Iku did because we got fucking Crow up her ass.
We even got mention of Iku, practicing sports off screen. Like,
yeah, she goes to her little.
See that? Like more of that just on screen.
We made a joke. We don't even know if her fucking baseball team is back from America, because who knows if time passes. So like Rios was like, she walks into that room and does what? Swing a bat alone in the room. Much. Because this is what we do on our channel, we hyper read into shit. You could argue that there is development happening with Iku in the direction of her coming to terms with her kink. Because we've seen her coming to terms with, oh, maybe I like being tied up.
You get to be amongst people who have, first of all, people who have a lot more experience and
safely practicing the fetish.
Yeah, I think that would be a real great way to have her explore that sort of stuff and learn more about herself. But yeah.
And this is why I want those two sides of Iku. I like the idea of her exploring this obvious fetish she has and coming to terms with it, just like I want to see Karane come to terms with the fact that she's bisexual. I also want her to still be playing sports and like exercise and fitness. And so let's Nakamura, I'm asking you, let's kind of sprinkle both elements of her character here. It doesn't have to all be butt stuff. But yeah, that's where I'm at with her.
So where do we want to land? So we're basing this all on hope that we have for Iku in the future, but we need to how is she actually in the series right now?
It's tough for me because she was this is a big one where we disagree. Rios
I personally had her her relationship with Rin definitely sort of bumped her up. I think that was sort of the apotheosis of her bat kink. I think that's probably the point where
Rin enables the shit out of her.
That's probably the part where they should have started pulling back. Because that's the punchline of that, the culmination, the climax of that little bit. And they once Rin came in, and they probably should have started pulling, focusing on other parts of Iku's character. But I think what happens, they went the opposite direction and started.
Once Rin came in, they didn't have to Iku, because for a while Iku would this is something I liked about Iku's character as well, was this slow coming to terms with and being comfortable with just being honest with the family. Because in the beginning she's very much like, hey guys, it's not weird or anything. I'm just exercising. I just want endurance training. Can anyone want to help me? And now once Rin came in, there was no more pretense. She could just be like, all right, Rin, you already know. Her and Rin lock eyes and go to the corner of the roof.
Well, as we saw with the 200 chapter special, when Rin became a bad, and Nano, Rin, and Iku all looked at each other like, we know what we must do.
Rin came in with the passion. I'm not sure how her technique, pans out, but she definitely has the passion. I think Iku appreciates that. Definitely.
Oh yeah, you can, because Mei is doing it from a sense of duty. Rin is doing it from a sense of orgasmic bliss.
Yes, for the pure love of the game.
God, but yeah. So so what is she for you, Rios? D?
I mean, yeah, I think originally I had her like at F, but
But the Rin thing.
Yeah, we'll put her at D, you know, as a
And then
C.
Moonlight, what do you got? We'll average them out.
I was with you. Like, she was really high for me at the start. I'm like, oh, this is like a top 5 for me, and was for a long time. And then just these recent, like, last 100 chapters or so, it's been so long since she's had anything of note. So
yeah, when was her last even like?
I know. Well, this was super early, but I loved her solo date where something like I'm up, guys. You have no idea. The tomboys, they make me lose my mind. My vision gets blurry. I'm rabid. Like, tomboys, and so like that chapter where like she's got the classic tomboy thing where she only owns like one dress from the one wedding she went to, and she has to like dig it out because she's trying to be feminine. Oh, I'm a sucker for that shit. So like, yeah, we need more of that. That's the last like solo I remember from Iku.
Yeah, it's been so long. So. That because of that, I want to say like C, maybe low B's.
Okay, so I said A. So I mean, we were right in the middle. I don't know.
Yeah, it would be
C.
It would be C or B.
Let's put her high C for now and see if we can move her up later.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think she is objectively better than Kusuri. Can we both agree on this?
I can agree with that.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
All right. No debate.
Right.
SS.
What? Oh my God! I forgot you like her.
I mean, I don't love her, but I do think
this is my big disagreement here.
I like Mimimi from a writing standpoint because the fact that you were able to make the narcissist like one of the nicest people is like such good writing. It's like, how do you make a narcissist with a heart of gold? And somehow Nakamura did it, and she's just been now. Granted, I will say she doesn't have much standout as a character, but who she is as a character and how she is written is just so good. Like. We look at her 2 standout chapters, the performance on the stage play, as well as her helping Usa-chan as like her standout chapters, and like those are really good. But she's such a good support character. I guess that's the way to put it. Is like she's such a good support character.
Yeah. So like for me, the highest she could like ever go is like D, basically. Just because like, she was F for a while. She was one of my 3 Fs. In the beginning, when I first finished the series, my 3 Fs were Mai, Mimimi, and Sue. And now none of them are an F anymore because I've softened up quite a bit. Rios has softened me up. The comments have softened me up. I've seen certain things to love about all of them. But Mimimi, for me, is still, I can't raise her any higher than D. I just find her, to me, she's the one for normies. If you have, no hobbies, no personality, no bitches, no riz, no air fryer, you like Mimimi.
And so I think that's where this kind of differs, where Mimi's just this well-written side character where she's a great support to whatever else is going on, and that's also why she hasn't had many focus chapters, because I think she works well in more as a supporting side character to whatever the girlfriends are doing, as like, here's your morale support. Because even when she was kind of the lead in the Usa-chan chapter, she was saying, I just want to support you because I don't know, treasure the family. I don't know, whatever you want to say.
Yeah, like I think
you could view her as someone who wants to help everyone bring out their beauty.
And that's what they said.
Yeah,
she even said that. It's like, I see the beauty in
I
everyone, and I want to help bring that out, because beauty is in everyone. It's just some are more beautiful than others, and that's me. but she's never she's never mean about
nice.
it.
Yeah.
I definitely appreciate the fact that she appreciates pretty much all kinds of beauty. Like, it's not just
that is cool.
Looks, it's not just like success, whatever. Like, it really is like all kinds of beauty. And that's
there was that one where they're watching a movie together. You really liked that chapter, right?
Yes.
Remember?
Yeah, I really did. I loved it because it showed that she doesn't just mindlessly, appreciate beauty. Like, she actually like assesses and thinks through like what is beautiful about this? Does it even have beauty? And
that one she didn't like it, right? She was like, this movie's pretentious and shitty.
Yeah, so it's like, even though she likes the higher art form, she's like, but she can still recognize the pretentious crap.
Yeah. No, that is good.
It was really interesting because our me and Red had basically opposite reactions because we interpreted
yes, I remember that.
The ground truth differently. Like I interpreted as assessment was correct, and then Red interpreted her assessment was incorrect, and he was one being actually pretentious. It was very interesting, sort of like a reader interpretation difference. Where, like,
bias. I was coming in with a bias.
yeah, because I was like, oh, okay, so she's able, because I trusted her assessment that it was not actually beautiful. I was like, oh, okay, so she's able to recognize when things are not beautiful, and that implies that there's a lot more going on in her head than I initially assumed. I thought she was just like, everything is beautiful, I'm gonna like murder is beautiful, or because it shows your passion, and Rin, I guess she's kinning Rin for a second there, but turns out no, she has standards, and that made it interesting. Like, okay, what are her standards? Like,
I think it's just being like honest beauty, because I think we saw that even in her intro where she dolled Rentaro up to like meet this like beauty standard that she has physically, but then she realized, no, wait, his real beauty is like his love for his girlfriends and all that.
The Usa-chan thing happened because he wanted to be more like Rentaro. Like, he is. I mean, like, I remember I brought this up, because Ren loves Uto because he is always trying to achieve something. I was like, Mimi is basically doing that. It's just that she's much closer to her end state than Uto.
And of course that just, I mean, I will fully admit that all comes down to my personal preference, right? Yeah. Because to me, I am very, like I said, I'm very into like androgyny and tomboys, and so like when I look at Mimimi, she just feels like default girl, you know what I mean? Which of course is not a good opinion to have, obviously. The stereotype, right? I mean, a lot of it too, can I be real with you guys? She reminds me of my sister, which my sister,
That's an unfortunate coincidence. Yeah, that's understandable.
But now, because she's my sister, when I see like a blonde girl that is like that like body type, I just think of my sister. So I think that's a lot of it too for me.
The Westermark effect, where we if we grow up around people who have these X traits, and we tend to not find them attractive in other people because we associate them with our family.
My body desperately trying to prevent incest.
Yes.
But yes, so for me it's D. She can never go above D. I mean, maybe. Well, it's a long series. No, I mean, yeah, we'll see,
Yeah, anything possible in this.
So we have to bring her up, right? Like, where do you place her?
Okay. Brain blast. Oh wait, another weird but sort of thing about it is like, he's one of the girlfriends who have like basically a superpower where it's like being slippery as fuck. Like, her and Mei Mei also like it was a really interesting weird thing. I actually remember like when in Mei Mei's introduction chapter, like Rentaro is like once he sees that she can like do like fucking ninja style substitution, he's like I wonder, like he's like musing this, like I wonder what sort of superpower I should like, or my girlfriend or something I should use to try and like counteract this thing. And then like Mimimi shows up with her fucking like reflecting style forehead sort of thing, like the optic blast sort of thing. And like, I don't know, like her and like Mei Mei and I guess maybe probably some other girlfriends are one of the few girlfriends who have like these weird like superpowers. I guess Karane kind of counts because she's like, her tsundereism allows her to have like greater strength than like an average human of her size.
Shout out to the English language for allowing tsunderes to be a thing, by the way. That was good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting thing about Mimimi, that she's one of the girlfriends who have like the weird, like her thing becomes like a superpower almost. It's like she can slip on like just random surfaces because she's so moisturized.
I don't remember that. I need to reread. I really don't.
She's been super slippery a couple times.
I remember that coming up.
Like even in the latest daily life.
Yeah, that's why she fell over, right?
Yeah, because the dust got on her. But yeah, if you the sumo.
The dust was funny.
The sumo chapter, she was slippery. The drunk chapter, she was slippery.
Mm-hmm. I never noticed. I never thought about it. That's interesting. I'll have to go back and reread.
I remember. I don't remember if I brought up, but it was something during our correspondence before we started reviewing. But I do remember noticing, like her and Mei Mei have like the clearest examples of like almost fucking like X-Men style superpowers. It's like,
no, she ate the smooth
fantastic. Ooh, yeah, I mean, the Alvito one, yeah, for sure. Okay, well, so where would you guys put her? And I'll tell you, I'll be reasonable. I'm not going to be unreasonable with this. What do you guys
I would say, just because she, like I keep saying, the side character aspect, I would put her like in the B's somewhere.
Okay, Rios?
I mean, I think last time I did the tiers, I did have her. I actually had her like D tier, but I mean, I probably have her C, because I mean, Moonlight mentioning like her as a support tier. That's something I hadn't thought of her as. Like, I mean, yeah, she is like she's basically like the cheerleader person. Like, I mean, she's the person you want to be there to like okay, Mimi, I'm going to this like event. I need to look like my best. I need to look like a like a model or whatever.
Oh yeah, she's the makeover girl for sure.
Yeah, she'd be like, girl, just like give me like an afternoon with you. I'll have you looking like beautiful, and she would actually like bring out the best version of you. Not like some.
That is cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
well, okay. So I suppose it has to be either high C or low B, but I don't want to like break Moonlight's heart by putting her in C.
No, I think I can accept high C, because you can't get far as a side character. When you can't get that high when you don't have the complexity of like a main character like a Nano or a Kurumi does.
I remember that like, I guess like that reminiscence chapter of Nano that they did, where they went back to the they did the, like, basically they did redid the beauty pageant thing, and it was like, I mean, I kind of see what you're doing there, but it just wasn't.
Yeah, so I'm okay with low B's.
It could have been.
I'm okay with low B's because she's not flanderized like Kusuri and Iku are. So I would say low B's.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'd be willing.
Okay,
I'll,
so
as a treat,
So just to placate me, my demand will be if she's in B, she has to be at the very bottom of B for the rest of the tier list.
All right. Yeah,
All
democracy over here.
All right, Mei Mei.
I mean, yeah, I'm a big fan of Mei Mei. I really appreciate like the sort of subtle thoughtfulness that she often shows. Like she's not very
secretly very down bad.
Oh yes.
Yeah, oh, the best. What do they say? That's been a meme since I was like in middle school, right? Like the fucking it's always the quiet ones, right?
It's always the church girls and the quiet ones.
Though admittedly, I think in the beginning that was like it's always the quiet ones who are the school shooters, but it's become I think is that how it started? Because I don't know.
No, I think I remember it being as a horny thing, but maybe, maybe. I'm sure that existed too.
Yeah.
For me, I really like the body dysmorphia angle of Mei Mei's plotline. I'm a big fan of those plot lines and everything. I really like Assassination Classroom. Have you watched Assassination Classroom, Moonlight?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you remember Nagisa had that weird gender dysmorphia thing happening because his mom was real weird about like, God, I wish you were a girl. And like that, I was like, wow, holy fuck. Like that hit me, man. So like with Mei Mei, like, I mean, truly tragic. Like imagine genuinely like all you want to do is disappear into the background and you've been blessed with the gigantic, most bazongos you've ever. I love the idea that she's wearing a binder and they still are like Hakari big. It's like, and like you get genuine like moments where she's just super I've told this story before in our videos, but I've had, I just tend to attract the tomboys, the androgynous ones, the lesbians. Oh boy, the lesbians that I attracted. And by attracted, I didn't mean like they were attracted to me. I meant like I had a bunch
like
of crushes.
Platonic attraction.
Well, yeah, I just tended to like be friends with them, and like my first crush was a lesbian, and it took me 3 years to find it out. I was like, I'm playing the long game. Eventually. And like the stories I've heard from a lot of them. I mean, multiple girls I've known who would wear binders, and like one who just didn't want to be perceived as a woman because she was nervous to take walks because of just how, I don't know, she just felt so vulnerable, and like she was always concerned people were staring at them, and then I had another friend who actually had like Mei Mei sized breasts like in real life. I told you about this friend, Rios, just so no one thinks I'm just making this off the top of my head. And she actually got the breast reduction, and because it was so big that they were like ridiculously encumbering.
We have seen slowly the development of her character just get better and better. Like even the most recently Daily Life, where we saw like she's more of accepting of her body now, and but also just in her focus chapter with Kurumi and Tama, where I even said in the video like this might be a hint that she's not so shy anymore because she's failing her misdirections now because she's not using it as much. So
that's
cute. I like that.
Cool.
I said that in the video. And then, it's like she's gotten rusty. She's gotten rusty at the misdirections, and because she just doesn't use it as often.
That's a great way to look at that. The way that she's been progressing is like, I remember one of the first times they had like just a date in her room together. If I remember correctly, I hope I'm not like you fucking Berenstein bearing this out of existence here. But like, weren't they like sitting across the room, like completely away from each other? And like now, I mean, here they are. They're able to like sit right next to each other, and we had that practice arc where he like hid inside of her plushie, that she made of him. And like, so she's genuinely been, I mean, when they first started, like she was concerned about even being able to date him because she was worried they'd never even be able to like hold hands. She was so like,
I remember loving like,
a lot.
I love how they describe that in the anime. I don't remember the specific wording in the manga, but I love how they described it in the anime, or saying like, like I love you found me kind of sort of thing. Like no matter how much I hide, you will always find me. Like that language is like, because she's
very romantic.
Her name is literally like a pun on hiding something. So to have to find her is just it's a very poetic sort of thing.
Yeah, no, so I mean, I'm loving, and like you said about in the most recent Daily Life, her getting more accepting of her body, that from the dynamic of like, because like I've never been a woman, but it's fun to imagine like what would that be like, and like being your whole life being kind of like I don't know, ashamed or grossed out or not liking these big things on your chest, but kind of, I have to imagine it would be comforting if you met someone and you really loved this person, and like even if you didn't like those, I imagine it must be kind of nice to be like, well, I don't get it, but like this guy I love really likes him, you know, and the fact that like that at least makes me hate them a little less, because like I see how he blushes when they're out, or you know, like that would, if I was a woman, I think I would really enjoy that element of it. Like, oh, you blush when you see these, like they're annoying to me, but hey, at least I could do that with them, you know, that's cute.
Just the fact that she's just also like Shizuka, she has her moments of like, goddamn, I'm really down bad for this guy, and I will I will take the opportunity to do so when I can. Like during the
and she's like,
the first flirty daily life, I'm gonna take advantage of him that he's napping right here. Let's start making out. It's like, wait, I know I shouldn't do this.
Yeah.
Yes.
He has so many like intrusive, sexy thoughts that he's been up till now. You know, he's beaten the intrusive thoughts, but you know that might change soon. You know.
Well, she's also at the top of the list of girls that are definitely bisexual.
Oh yeah,
definitely. I mean, yes, her
big fan of that.
Her like sort of background relationship with Mimimi has been
amazing,
boiling us. Like it's been simmering for like years at this point. I'm just waiting for it to like.
So yeah, I for Mei Mei,
I'm gonna say.
Let me think.
I'm gonna throw mine out there. I think she's the highest B currently.
I would agree with that. Let me look at A real quick. Nano and
she doesn't have.
Yeah, you know what? I totally agree with that.
Character energy or vibes yet, like a Nano or Kurumi does.
She's getting there.
She's getting there. Yeah. She's slowly getting there, but she's not there yet.
I totally agree.
Yeah. And it's more enjoyable than like what Hahari is offering currently.
Yes. Go ahead, Rouse.
I mean, I did have her in like S tier or something.
Wow.
I don't know if I would have her at that now, maybe, because I don't know. There's just been so many other characters who kind of like shift the balance, or whatever. But I mean, for me, she is more like, you know, A-ish tier. I mean, I just relate so much to a lot of like that. I mean, 'cause she's clearly a very like situationally aware type of person. Like she sees everything that's going on, even if she isn't like, you know, reacting to it or whatever. I mean, how else could she be so good at misdirecting?
Oh,
but,
yeah,
I mean,
true.
You know, that's a very relatable thing to me, being like, I'm very much the sort of person who's like, I'm aware of everything that's going on right now, and if I'm not, I'm going to be, like, spooked.
Yeah, she's very
like,
observant.
At the...
well, is you know, your opinion matters, Rios. Do you feel strong enough to move her to, like, low A, or is high B satisfactory?
I would like some low A, you know.
Oh, okay. What do you think, Moonlight? Is that acceptable?
I can put her at low A on the fact that she's still on a good trajectory to be a higher.
Yeah.
She has the potential, so I could put her at the low A due to untapped potential.
Perfect.
And
it's disgusting to have her on the same level as Hahari. Moving on.
All right, so everyone's favorite Chiyo.
Yeah.
The second great filter.
One of the like sharpest like I guess character
turnarounds.
Character reception turnarounds. Like
Nakamura pulled his magic on this one.
I think it was less magic and more like, don't pay attention to what one hand is doing while you're doing the other.
Yes.
Because, well, I think I've said this in a video, but it definitely feels like he's trying to kind of ignore the fact. He's not trying to retcon that they're no longer cousins, but he never brings it up anymore.
Yeah, like this is a really good example of how expertise is as much about recovering from mistakes in a graceful way as it is, you know, doing the right thing the first time. Like, when you'll notice, like, people who are really good at things, they still make mistakes. They just are really good at, like, turning them into happy accidents, for example, or, like, you know, not allowing that to, like, ruin the whole system or everything. They're able to recover from it really gracefully. Like, this is an example where I think Nakamura did recover really well. It was like, people were like, they're like, I cannot believe, like, she has to be, not only is she a fucking 12-year-old, but she's also his first cousin. Like, what are you thinking, Nakamura?
It was too many things in a row. It was like the young, like so young that it started to be a little weird, and she and the cousin thing, and then
also
people hated her gimmick of being like the
he was just not likable. That was the thing.
She was not likable for a while. From the start. It's literally the worst introduction of the series so far.
Yeah, she shows up and she's an instant bitch. You know, I hate to call a 12-year-old a bitch, but I mean, like she shows up and she's like, hey, your uniform pisses me off. Like it's like, okay,
growls at everybody.
Everything is wrong.
Says you're all a bunch of messes. Granted, she did give us that great panel of like, your entire existence is a problem.
True.
I do love. I mean, I will always love that joke of like during the kiss banning thing where like everyone's losing their damn mind, and Mei accidentally spills the tea. She's like, I'm about to kill myself now, and Hahari stops her by saying like live, you're beautiful. Like that was a beautiful. I love that like joke, and it only happened because of Chiyo's like meddling and trying to correct everyone.
It's like as much as the Chiyo is annoying, and especially in the early days, it's like that what I call kissing withdrawal chapter is probably one of my favorite things just because of how funny it was. And
yes, I love the goofy ass dance they did when they finally convinced her. Like, so many great little moments. It was
yeah, she's a good facilitator of plot.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think like, and now I can talk to how she turned around. I mean, and it's good timing because I think one of my favorite Chiyo moments in recent memory is the daily life with them walking their dogs.
Yeah.
I really, really enjoy. I mean, it's like Nakamura just like personally put in there, like, look at how reverse Flanderized she is.
Yes.
Look at how different she is now. Because her whole thing used to be, I'm uptight, I'm stressed. And now, I mean, we haven't had that glasses off moment thing in a long time either. I mean, she really has. I mean, we're seeing like a little girl grow up into like an adult woman in front of our eyes. It's actually kind of like adorable. Should we have her?
Did I ever post in the Discord? Like someone said it in the 100 Girlfriends Discord. But they put two side-by-side pictures of Chiyo, and it's like the craziest glow up ever.
Yeah, her hair was disgusting. It looked like fucking pincers on an insect. I don't know what the fuck that was. It was nasty.
I mean, they were like pigtails. It made her look even more childish. And she was like,
yeah,
please.
Well, this recent panel with I loved it so much because like you have Hakari like, oh my god, she's like a different person. It really did feel like Nakamura was like, hey, in case you haven't noticed, she's like a different person. And then of course we have the funny turnaround where she's like, wow, Hakari's not making weird faces or drooling. And this dog has done a lot for her. I mean, it really does feel like she had a conversation with her dad and was like, hey dad, given that I'm 12, I'd like it if maybe you cooked some dinner every once in a while and let me be a child. I like that. She's set boundaries. It's nice.
Yeah, I just posted in the Discord. It's like, look at the side-by-side comparison. Because she's making like the same pose.
Oh my lord! Yeah, I'm seeing. Yeah, like, or even the same character is like.
It's like,
oh,
it's like, how do you know that's even the same character?
Oh man, dude, what the fuck? That is crazy.
I mean, part of that's the art style, but part of it's also just like these. Yeah, he has changed as a person, and it's
like
showing up.
It's like not only just changes character, and even, but like the art style, the design, everything. Yeah.
Wow. And even like her weird pincer hair looks less like bug pincers. Like I cannot express enough
Scyther.
How much they look like bug pincers on the early one. Oh, that's cute. Yeah, because this is from the one where she gets the dog, right?
I think so, yeah. And then that's also from like the commercial chapter, which is like her right after her introduction.
She's just so much happier. She's just so much happier now too. Like that is something that he's really been able to express that super well. Just how much happier she is now.
Yeah. A recent thing that I've been, like, these recent years that I've been experiencing, which is, kind of, like, with when I was younger, when I see a young character, I would perceive them as, like, a peer or whatever, but, nowadays I've started to see people like that as, like, they're youngsters, they're cute kids or whatever.
Oh, we're old now!
Yeah, and, I mean, I definitely get that feeling from Chiyo. It's, like, it's nice to see this kid, grow up and start, so you work through some of those problems they had, and you become a little more of a happy person. And I have mentioned before, like, I mean, I was a little bit like Chiyo as a kid. I mean, I never really hated that aspect about her because of that. I could relate to being like that. But I mean, yeah, it's just nice to see like she's become so much more chill, like you said, Red, more relaxed. Yeah. He's become more at peace as a person. It's like I'm happy for this kid to see that, like as like an adult, I'm happy to see this kid, grow. It's like
the way he treated her character, to me, because I always think of that interview that's at the end of one of the chapters where he talks about, like my main thing is making likable characters, and it does feel like he recognized the mistake with Chiyo and worked like slowly in the back, like you said, like looking over at this hand, right? Slowly over the next 100 chapters, he's just like tweaking her little bit by bit, and then it's like, oh, I don't even remember why I didn't like her.
It's like I'm pretty sure there's going to be at some point we're going to get to some fans who are going to be like, I forgot that they're cousins.
Yeah, it really
don't remind me.
Did they in the chapter with the dog? Did Rentaro refer to him as Uncle Hiro at all, or did he just say like Hiro? Or I want to know how much they're hiding this.
Yeah. I do have the manga deck page up and trying to find the.
Well, while he's looking for that, what letter are we feeling? Because again, I would have said F. Now, I mean, she's approaching high C, low B, maybe.
I can go with C because she's gotten work past the Flanderization that she had. Granted, I wouldn't call what she had Flanderization, but is what she has now better than the other Flanderized characters are going through. So that's
I mean, it's just, to me, it's like, you know, she's better than the maid. The maid is just like, I feel nothingness to her. Whereas in C tier, like, I do like Kusuri, and I obviously I like Iku. But like with Kusuri, it's like she's a little bit above feeling nothing. I can appreciate her jokes and what she brings to the series, and that's kind of where I'm at with Chiyo. She went from like dislike to like, I'm actually kind of interested in her arc now, you know. So I would say like high C.
I'm okay with high C.
Maybe right above Iku.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, I did look through the chapter, and it's less that because Rentaro just didn't have an opportunity to refer
because he's a dog.
Hero. Yes, he's a dog for like for most of the time they're interacting with each other, so he's never really got the chance to call him to address him at all. So I mean, I guess that might be.
That's just Nakamura
being smart. Yeah,
working it to where he never has to bring up the name.
Yeah,
I think one more thing that needs to be addressed before we move on from Chiyo is another thing that made that part a filter and very weird is that her dad, his uncle, like plays matchmaker, and he's like, only you can date my daughter, Rentaro, and it's like, and then even Rentaro's like, I mean, I kind of feel weird about that, but then like Chiyo's also down, and then he's like, fuck, okay.
Yeah, but I think the only saving grace there is that his uncle probably is right that no man on earth could be as good of a boyfriend as Rentaro, but it's like
he's just correct.
Yeah, I hate it. I don't want him to be correct.
I'm sorry, honey, you have to understand, like, normally I would frown upon incest, but, like, it just turns out that my nephew is, like, the best man in the world, so, like, unless you're gay, it's gotta be him. Your options are gay or incest. Choose!
You know, in another manga, this would be a big plot problem.
Yeah. That'd be the whole thematic crux, but no, here it's just like, you know, just another thing, another day, another unnumbered day in the world of 100 Girlfriends.
I'm just gonna hope that when they get to having children, he just doesn't have children with her.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at.
Like, he can raise the other kids.
Chiyo has very mom energy of, like, taking care of things. She's just gonna take care of everyone else's kids.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, you know, inevitably, like Tama's a great example. If he has a litter of kittens with Tama, I don't see her being a very good mother.
Yeah.
So, like, she can...
raising kids is work.
Raising kids is work. She's not going to want that. She just want to lay around and have all the kids just, like, cuddle up with her in the sun.
Oh, my God. One last thing I'll say about Chiyo, too, is I remember in the beginning, you know, like I said, headcanon carries you a long way in this series. One of my desperate headcanons for this series was like, okay, I'm going to choose to look at what he's doing with Chiyo as more of like, could you, like, babysit her, like, while she's at school, you know? Yes. Like, but now I feel like that headcanon's been destroyed, because, like, there's a famous moment that fucking destroyed me, where it's one of the daily lives where he's, like, having a picnic with her, and Rentaro's like, oh, you're like what does he say? He says, like a child wife.
The title of that thing was, like, middle school wife, and I remember Tease had to, like, sort of set the record straight. Like, I was trying to translate, like, I was trying to localize the best of my ability, and it came out like that. That's not the literal translation in the Japanese, you know.
What did Rentaro say, though? He said, like, you're like, I can't remember. Does anyone remember what I'm talking about? Yeah, he said something real sussy.
It was, like, classic, like, fucking, like, just pedophile, like, framing. Like, you're so mature for your age. You're so mature for your age, kind of.
Oh, yeah. We basically gave Rentaro, that was his, like, one oopsie. It was, like, the first time Rentaro took an L, and Rios and I were like, okay, Rentaro, that was bad. But you've gotten a lot of brownie points. Does anyone find it, or do I need to find it?
It must be in the first set of Flirty Daily Lives.
Yeah, the first day. I'm looking through the part 3 right now.
I was just in part 3.
We have our crack team of researchers.
It's gotta be in part 3,
right? Top.
I'll
start at the top, you start at the bottom.
You guys are awesome.
God, I love that Kishika. Here it is. It's in part 2.
Thank God. Please read to me exactly what's said.
As soon as it loads.
The FBI will be knocking on your door for saying what you're about to say.
It's hard to believe you're still a first year in middle school. You're much more like an elegant, mature wife. I want to marry you. Oh wait, we're already doing that. And
it does sound like some classic what's the main character's name in Lolita? Like the man.
And you know what sucks? This is also the first instance since the proposal where they actually acknowledge that. And I'm like, why is it here?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. God, and was that like again like up till that point I had the headcanon, my desperate headcanon was he's just kind of like looking at this as like I'm babysitting, you know, it's whatever, and then now it's like no he's fully in. He's like, oh yeah,
especially when he says the very next line is, "It feels like I've got a nosebleed, but from every pore on my body."
Yeah, no, I knew it was worse than what you just said.
It kept getting worse, like every successive line. It was crazy.
Nozawa looking at that fucking like script, being like,
no. Nozawa is between the two of them. Nozawa is almost certainly the bigger purpose. He'd be like, "That's great." Fair. Like Nakamura probably had to like hold her back, like, "Please don't make it a little like you're making it too." I mean, because during our first retrospective, I mean, I pulled up.
Yes, I forgot you found her old work.
Yeah, it was one of them is just like basically a slice of like manga of like I think an 8-year-old kid, an 8-year-old kid just coming across like random like
lewd events.
Just minorly ecchi moments where, like, say, like, the female shopkeeper has to, like, crouch down to pick up something in her, like, whale tail shows or whatever, like, her panties show. And it's, like, just these really...
Wow.
Really
That's a real one.
Minor but decidedly perverted little moments. It's like, yeah, I mean...
I remember I got caught up with the series, and then I was made aware that she had a Twitter, Nozawa, and I was like, oh, cool. And I followed her Twitter, and the most recent tweet, I was like, let me just click translate tweet on this tweet, and it literally was... I love drawing tits so much. It's like, God, I love her. I love it.
Drawing tits is pretty nice. As an artist, it's pretty nice.
Yeah, there was another tweet. I don't know if it was the exact same one, but something similar where she was like replying to someone saying, someone was like criticizing the boob size of girlfriends are inconsistent, and she's like, yeah, I sometimes draw big boobs by accident when I shouldn't. I just can't help myself.
Oh my God, it's so great when you have a team making something and the woman is the more horny one. It's just, I love it. You love to see it.
All right, so on the opposite end of the spectrum of Chiyo, we have Ms. Naddy.
Yeah.
I fucking love Naddy. Naddy has only shot up for me. When she first showed up, it was very similar to Uto, where I was like, okay, like, might be a little cringe for me, but then it was the self-awareness. It was the fact that she kind of knows it's cringe, but she shoots for it anyway, in like a kind of a spit to the face to her shitty fucking strict parents. It just brings her, you can tell the same way it brings Uto happiness to do her bard shit. You can just feel how happy it makes her to do what she does, but also how quickly she backs down when she's caught in a bad situation, like the McDonald's drive-thru where she's like, actually I am Japanese person, or my personal favorite, like when the cops show up in the park when she's trying to help Chiyo and she's like, well, howdy, boys in blue, and then like hard cut, yes, I'm Japanese.
Yeah, that was
excellent.
Top tier comedic moment.
I love her so much. She's probably approaching S for me, but it might be a little intense to go. I'd say high A for me.
I'd put her in the B just because she works good as like a comedy character, but she doesn't have, outside of the self-awareness thing, much depth to her besides that. So
a lot of her depth for me comes from her backstory, and I agree we need more in the modern day. What I kind of get from her in the modern day is the fact that whenever she's drunk at all,
she reverses,
instantly goes to depression. And to me, that shows like almost like what's it called? Imposter syndrome. You know, the same thing Uto has, the same thing Hakari kind of has. I think there's real trauma there. I mean, her parents were strict as fuck, you know?
I'm sure she feels bad about not being able to live up to her parents,
they literally disown her.
Even though she has put all this effort into saying, screw that, I don't really care. Clearly, a part of her still does kind of feel some kind of way about, not being able to live up to their expectations. All that.
So she's another character where like the headcanon does a lot of the heavy lifting for me. I see her backstory and I paint a picture. And that picture is someone who is like that she has been led here in an attempt to be the opposite of her parents. And I'm pretty sure I'm who I am in an attempt to be the opposite of my dad. Right? Like so like I understand how that goes. She's also just very fucking funny. And one of the funniest in the series, I think.
She has moments, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, she does have, yes, like her goofy fucking, like, the fucking burger in the hot pot was a great example. I mean, that's
I was thinking about that today at Hot Pot.
Yeah, I mean, it's as goofy as hell, but it's so natty. It's like, I mean, what else? Like, you can't be mad at it. Like, it's like, who else but Naddy kind of thing. And it's like
bit of trivia. I don't even consider it trivia, but you know when Naddy gets drunk, she becomes like proper Japanese. Fun thing with the Seven Seas translation of it, she actually uses Japanese. Like she actually says like
interesting.
Samasei and stuff like that.
Garbled.
Oh, I
So
like
it's like
that.
that's a fun like little
See, like,
70s choice that they
Like
made.
he's reverting back to like
To me, that's a lot of depth. I'm sorry, go ahead, Rios.
like I said, he's literally revert. It's almost like kind of a reverse version of what's happening with Kishika, where he's like he's reverting back to being the like formal, being the perfect model daughter of her family when she's drunk. Basically, it's like she has to force herself to be this this ganky girl, and when she's drunk, she doesn't have like the self-control to do that anymore. She becomes this like diminished version of herself thing.
So much of her is carried by the headcanon, but it's not. It's just because a lot of it is locked into that backstory. The backstory is like the linchpin to all of her depth, right? And like I think like exactly what Rios just said there. The fact that you can like look at her and be like, oh wow, like she really is forcing herself to be this version of herself that does not fit her at all, but she's doing it because it makes her happy, and that just makes me well up inside. That brings a tear to my eye. I mean, I love characters like that just kind of be like, this might not be, like, it doesn't come naturally to me, it's very hard, but this is what I want to be, in defiance of how I was raised. I have to imagine, as an adult, she looks back constantly at how she was raised and like thinks like that was no way for a child to be raised.
Yeah,
I couldn't play, or I couldn't.
She was punished for like the reason she even saw like the movie that sort of inspired her. Like, wasn't that because she was punished for like making too much noise or something like that?
Like shutting a door too hard or something.
Yeah, like crazy.
I mean, like it was pretty obvious. If you really want to read into it. She was probably beat as a child. I mean, so to me, the depth comes from if you start to kind of read the subtext of her flashback. So to me, I mean, I think she's an easy A personally, but I mean, we can triangulate between our opinions.
She does. I think he does have a sister, right? So that's an easy like sort of in for like a
serious arc.
Yeah, I mean the sister who's like so pissed. Her like, you ran away from that. I had to become like the lightning rod for my parents' abuse. Like I was, like that.
Oh shit, that could be fucking good, man. Holy, I want that.
I mean,
inevitably we're gonna get a reunion with her parents.
It's gotta be.
Yeah,
it's gonna be great. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's sort of another sort of, I guess, unrelated sort of thing. Just kind of sort of. I just love how affectionate she is. Like I was looking through
the hugs.
Looking back through like the chapter where you mentioned where it's, the date chapter with Rintaro, and I mean like she's consistently getting Rintaro to be like blushing and being like, like getting flustered. But I mean it's in a very different way than like Hakari, where it's very like sort of true pure blue affection. It's not like the sexual sort of thing.
I like that different. I like that distinction a lot. I think Moonlight can appreciate that too, because and he's kind of bothered by the Hakari over like everything sexual to her. But yeah, that's a good point. It's like it's hugging for love's sake, not for like I'm trying to rub my sensitive tippies on you.
Yeah.
So the website I use for the 7C's translation doesn't have the latest volume, so I just took a picture of my physical copy and I posted in chat. So where do we want to put Naddy after all that?
I have to lock in A for me. It'll depend on where Rios is thinking.
Yeah, I had her B.
Yeah, I think I'm somewhere in B too.
I think I would keep her in B. Yeah, high B I can see. Yeah.
She also has a lot of potential. Like we know that family confrontation's going to come at some point.
Ooh, that's going to be good. And that, God, maybe you could do that one in 2 chapters. I could see that. Maybe 2 chapters enough for that. Maybe.
I mean, unless Nakamura does the thing again where he makes that first chapter real jam-packed like creative potential, and then anticlimax is again.
The Nakamura special.
Yes.
Who's next?
Oh, Yamame.
Tall girl? Yamame?
Yeah, Yamame. Yep.
Let me just start out with one simple fact. 6'5".
That is very tantalizing.
Oh my God.
I mean, yeah, getting to be the little spoon is like, as a guy, sometimes, as a guy that's usually can't take advantage of that.
That's a whole lot of woman to just latch onto. Oh, but I mean, beyond that.
Beyond that, she's just there, and that's the problem.
Yeah,
I always mention it when this comes up. I mean, I do feel like she's kind of a simple gal. She's a good-natured, good-hearted gal. It's like I feel like it'd be kind of difficult to have. Could we have a conversation like this with Yamame? I feel like it might be difficult.
Yeah. No, I remember when we were reacting to Moonlight's first tier list. Did you have a chance to watch any of that? By the way, Moonlight, it's okay. I won't be insulted.
And I usually block stuff like that out.
Yeah.
I know we weren't. I hope we weren't fucking trying to insult you or anything. It wasn't drama. But no, I remember when we got to, because I think you had said something like, oh yeah, there's not a lot of complexity there, and then my knee-jerk reaction was to be like, yes there is, and then I started thinking about it, and I was like, oh. So yeah, I mean, you're kind of right, you know, like, I do just kind of like her, I like who she is.
Like, she's a good person.
I agree, I mean, I can't really have a
character, but in terms of just being a character in the series and what she brings to the series is not a lot.
True.
She's very. What you see is what you get. I mean, she's a great gal and a great person. But I mean,
yeah, she might be sitting right in average. I mean, maybe
could we bring in any headcanon? I mean, you know, we know.
Yeah, there's not even a lot of headcanon. I think the main thing I could come up with her is I do like thinking about how she was raised, right? Like growing up as a girl, being this tall, right? I mean, we saw like the boys calling her like monster girl, freak girl, and I like
or
that.
Even just like seeing like seeing that stuff, that sentiment just being parroted on TV, you know, like. Her dad was like, oh, like stop, like, you know, very, very good dad, you know, stopping the program. And,
I like that her parents are like supportive and like really good, which is like refreshing after all of the bad parents we saw.
I think that's probably just the biggest contributor to her person. I mean, she grew up around a lot of decent, good folk, and it made her a decent, good person, and there's not much else to it. Yeah.
And for her to be like, she's a very gentle girl, and she just happens to be. It's the Mei Mei problem where Mei Mei just wants to disappear, and she was gifted with fucking H cup titties, and now we have Yamame, who just is she just wants to be a gardener and just do her thing, and she was just blessed with 6'5" basketball jeans. Imagine, 1, you're a girl who's 6'5". 2, you're a girl who's 6'5" who lives in Japan. Right? Already, the clothes sizes are smaller there, right? So I mean, I have to imagine all of her clothes are like hand-me-downs from like her brothers, or I mean, well,
maybe her dad.
Probably, or they have to go to like. I don't know. Surely big and tall shops must exist in Japan, but they have to special order them. I don't know.
I've heard that like it's impossible to get anything like big in Japan. Like even the big sizes for Japanese people, like this is like because they tend not to like they tend not to allow for like big or either tall,
not
or,
super accepting,
overweight.
Yeah, so that's kind of my answer to your what could you headcanon question. A lot of times when I think deeply about Yamame, I think about her challenges of just being that big as a woman in Japan. And like, you know, I mean, like over here even there's probably some stereotype of like, I think a lot of guys wouldn't want to date a woman taller than them because they're cowards. And a lot of women don't want to date men shorter than them because they're cowards or just weird about it. I don't know. But what I'll say in Japan though, I would assume that that's even worse. Right.
Oh yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
The gender roles are a lot more reinforced and a lot more. Well, I guess not unquestioned. It's more like just they just haven't progressed as far as like we have in the West, I suppose.
So I think about that's kind of what I think about with her. It's just like the struggles of being that tall when all she wants to do is
a similar kind of problem as Iku, but from a different direction. Where Iku is more like coming from being he's a tomboy, and that makes her feel not very feminine. But I mean, Yame is not very tomboyish, but like her body. It's basically Iku's personality is very quote-unquote boyish, and that's where her insecurities are coming from. Whereas Yamame, her body is, by the standards of society, very boyish because it's very big and not cute and small, so she has those insecurities.
There's some thought to be had if you think about it a little bit, but she's definitely like mid B, high C max.
I don't know. What about you, Raz?
I kind of added, I think as much as I could.
Well, I mean, like a numbering.
I mean, red. Oh, yeah.
A number, not a letter.
Yes. The number B. Yeah, I think I did have her at like initially B tier. I think.
Look at who we got in B here. I think that she is around the same level as Hakari and Hahari. Like we're sandwiched in between them.
We're gonna split up the Hanazonos.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
I almost have like almost.
Unless if you disagree, please.
I almost have like almost no opinion, so I was like, I'll just kind of go with the flow.
Okay. She's like how the maid is for me.
So, like I said, we're gonna get a lot quicker with some of these.
Oh, okay.
All right, Momiji.
Yeah, no, you are. We are actually getting quicker. You're right.
Momiji, she can just stay down there enough.
Oh, come on. She's not that bad.
She can be above Mandy because she has some good jokes. She has some good jokes.
let me see if I have anything to say about her. She's another one on the autism train, I think. You know, I see, like, whenever I'm working at Walmart and I see, like, the slime, you know, the slime with the styrofoam popping beads and the, you know, that's just her thing. She likes that, you know, and we were discussing, like we said earlier, she is someone who is at the end of her character arc. She has no development to do because she's already reached peak existence. She's happy with her life. She's living her best life. She knows what she likes. Good for her. And I also like that she's.
I was gonna say when you stopped that sentence, like when I'm at Walmart and I see the slime, I thought you were gonna say the slime that's walking around Walmart.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about like a kid who has a similar.
No, well, like the Dungeon Dragon slime or the Dragon Quest slimes. You know, they're everywhere over there. No. Wasn't gonna say it. Fuck.
Fuck. You know, she's the perfect example of a flat character. When some people who aren't writers might hear that and think, oh well, flat characters are bad. They're supposed to be they're supposed to be the change characters. But flat characters like Superman is a good example of a classic flat character where oftentimes it's more just about like this is how usually in those stories it's more about how they change the world rather than the world changing them, but that doesn't really happen in 100 Girlfriends, so it's more like
Rentaro kind of is, if you think about it.
Maybe Rentaro,
he's changing the world.
He's the classic example of a flat character. He is who he is. Probably not going to change too much, but he's perfect the way
other
he is.
Than getting more ready to fucking plow these girls.
Yeah, he's only going to become more perfect.
So with her, the other thing I like about her is that I think this is admirable to me. She had a desire. That desire was to grope squishy flesh. And she was like, okay, I have this desire, but it does tend to be illegal. So what can I do to make it work for me? Oh, I know. I'm going to make my relationship with my victims, quote unquote, a symbiotic one, right? Like she chose
the parasite that eats like the little fish that eat the parasites on the other bigger fish.
So like she could have just been like a serial sexual assaulter, but instead she was like, I'm going to make sure that I'm providing a service. Like they're providing me a service, I'm going to provide them a service, and no one gets mad at her.
I'm pissed about being grew up like this, but it just feels so good that I cannot. It's no harm, no foul. So let me go.
I love that. It's a fucking funny idea. Now I do agree, not a lot of else going on with her, but. At the same time, like Ryo says, I don't think that you can fault her too much because she doesn't really seem to have any goals, which, I don't know, it's tough.
Or even any real insecurities or anything. Now, I do think, like Mimimi, he is a great support character. She really does, like, gel well with a lot of, like the other, like, Kusuri, he gels well with her during, like, I think there was that muffin, or what was it, like, the pan bread chapter, she was...
Yeah, that was a cute one.
Like, a real little tag team pair.
I just want to feel it, and then you can eat it, okay?
Yeah. And then also, I think Kurumi, that chapter with her was also just a wild one where they were trying to get to they're waiting in line to get to the best bread or whatever, and all the crazy weather and other events are happening.
I love it. But I guess for me, I agree that she can't be too high, but she's not F. Like, she's not bad at all. She's just kind of there. But like, she's better than the maid. I have to.
So what do you say, like,
I
bottom
cannot
of C?
have her be. Yeah, low C is fine.
I'm okay with low C. Just because she does have funny jokes. Like, she's used for these jokes, and sometimes it's really good, and sometimes it's not so good. But that's just how jokes are. I will say her best joke, and I'm sad that I didn't...
Oh, go ahead, sorry.
Her best joke, and I'm sad I didn't even bring it up in my video when Usa-chan was first showing up, and she, like, grabs her boob, and, like, it doesn't register in her hand. Like, who is this person? It's like, wait.
Wait a minute.
Like, my eyes might not recognize you, but my hands should, and it's like... I don't trust my eyes; they don't recognize. But my hand is the only thing I trust.
She looks at her hand like does not compute.
Yes.
Which implies, of course, that every single boob she can feel the minute differences, which is
she recognizes people by
their boobs. That's how she recognizes people. Yeah.
Oh, and she also facilitated one of the beginning of my love for Uto, which is where she got into Rentaro's body and made Uto kind of like out uncomfortable. Yeah, like, whoa, what the fuck? To see Uto kind of, I like your perception of Uto that she's kind of transmask, and for a trans person to be kind of reminded of their femininity, that's got to be a little uncomfortable. And again, that's not confirmed, but it's a cool thought. And she Yeah, Uto never ever presents womanly, right? Like Uto is never talking about her boobs or accentuating her boobs or even
Except
thinking
for
about
that one
boobs.
time in the
so for
Floating
Uto
Island chapter where suddenly she has boobs now in that swimsuit. I really wanted to bring that.
Classic Nozawa.
I wanted to bring that up in my video, but I'm like, that just comes off as creepy. Where I'm like, suddenly Uto has boobs now.
I think I understand the concern of coming off as creepy, but when you're talking about a series like this, I feel like everyone is ready for that kind of conversation. I mean, we kind of just turn our brains off. Like I basically just think like anyone who's reading this series isn't going to be the type of person to be like, what you said there was a little problematic. It's like, boy, you're reading 100 Girlfriends. Right? What are you doing?
Hahari's existence is problematic.
But yeah, I think I'm happy with low C. If it was my personal tier list, she'd probably be more towards low B, but that's just me.
And another thing I mentioned, I mean, I just love like both her facial expressions and like her facial style, or whatever. I mean, just a very unique face this girl has, and I mean, I just love how, I mean, her facial expressions are as flat as her character arc, and I love it. Never change me, Momiji.
Is this a place where a fight could happen? Because I feel like I have a memory of Moonlight not liking the facial expressions, or am I making that up? Of Momiji.
I mean, I don't dislike him or like him, but she does have like this, like very blank face.
Overbite or whatever, underbite.
The underbite.
That's autism face, bitch. I can say that I'm autistic.
Yeah. There's not a lot going on behind her head. It's just grope and like, what am I groping right now, and what can I grope next?
Okay. One last thing I have to say about Momiji though is nice lips you got there, big boy, was life changing. I fucking love that. That actually shot her up for me, because to me that's just like the most goober thing you could possibly. I love the idea of just watching a movie with your girlfriend, and like you could see the gears working in her brain where she's like, I want to kiss him, but I don't want to just kiss him. I gotta have like a line, like a one-liner. That was perfect. I love it.
Really good. All right, let's just get Yaku down here and be done with it. Let's move on.
Moonlight, are you in a hurry right now?
He's kind of sneaking by. He's kind of.
Oh, you just don't like Yaku? I gotta get Allie out here. Allie really likes Yaku. I won't derail.
She'd be fun. She'd be more fun character if she was just kind of reoccurring, kind of like Uncle Hero, as Kusuri's grandmother.
Yeah,
who was also, Asian.
That would be a real.
As a girlfriend now.
Yeah.
I like
Yaku is a good candidate for. I mean, she would have been a great candidate for a girlfriend who does not show up all the time. If that had been,
she didn't need to be on the damn rooftop all the time.
Yeah, it's like woman, do you not have any life outside?
No,
like, you don't have friends.
A lot of old people don't, man. A lot of old people. Okay. I'll be honest. Her friends are probably all dead. I think she was I don't know when this immortality drug thing happened, but I think that she was like ready to die. Like made peace with her gods, and then like this, and she's like, God damn it.
Yeah, I've been reincarnated. I'm gonna act like I've been reincarnated and just live life again.
And she doesn't plan on working or anything like that, because she's like, I'm just gonna live off my pension.
Mm-hmm. The fucking government's gonna be like, what the fuck?
The government's gonna be like, yeah, okay, so there's some people who are like, they're like 200 years old and they're getting pensions. It's like,
funny, That's like a thing that Trump said recently about Social Security. He's talking about all the people that have taken Kusuri's immortality drug, obviously.
Yeah. The deep state is actually just the 100 girlfriend. The Rentaro family is just the deep state.
Hell yeah. They could. I mean, dude, the power they're gonna have by the end of this series, man.
They're
gonna
like,
move mountains.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I'm so excited. When he fucking zings with like the prime minister's daughter, or better yet, the prime minister themselves. It depends. I don't know if you gotta have the prime minister be a girl, I guess. But anyway, I guess for Yaku, my main thing I can say is like she brings a new dynamic. Like I like her, especially in the beginning. Like obviously now a lot of it's just like, I'm sleepy, I don't get technology. But like the dynamic of just this like maturity, which is really, really different from all the other girls.
Yeah, different from Hahari, who is physically older than her, but mentally probably younger. It's crazy. I think he was the oldest for a while, and I think Yaku was after that. Yeah,
28 is crazy. How old are you, Raz?
Yeah, 27.
Yeah. Oh, you're still younger. When I started reading this, I was 29, so I was already older than Hari. But I mean, with Yaku, I just like the dynamic of, especially in her intro chapter, where all the other girls are like, it's pretty instant, but with her, she's like, It's very realistic. It's like, well, we'll see where this goes, youngin. You know, I liked that. It was a kind of interesting.
Her most interesting chapter was her intro, and then she hasn't really done anything interesting since then.
Yeah.
Did you like the I don't remember what it was. It like
pottery?
a pottery
Yeah, I mean,
that she thought her.
It was definitely a good attempt at trying to make Yaku feel more like I don't know what the better phrase would be, but like at home in this series.
Human? Oh,
Like tried to make her fit in more, but it was definitely a nice attempt, but it didn't really work for me.
yeah. I mean, she's a little boring for me, but that's just because I think it's because I just I'm not super down with like elderly people. I don't know. Not like I don't like them. I don't know what I mean. I'm like, yeah, dude. You know what my favorite fucking character type is? The elderly. Like, it's not super exciting. I'm sorry.
It just feels more like it's a continue. Ever since then, everything's just felt like a continuation of, I guess I'll humor the lad and play along, and that's just what it feels like ever since then. And we get like the few moments of like, especially like in the flirty daily life chapters, where it's like, okay, maybe she is taking this kind of seriously, maybe, but it's like it's just those brief instances. Everything else has been like, it feels like a grandmother humoring her grandchild.
Yeah, and I mean, like, the question is, how do you, and I'm sure Nakamura is currently dwelling over this right now, but it's like, how do you move this relationship on to serious and not have it be, I mean, it's weird, and that weird is okay because it's this series, but like, how do you make that work, right? It's a 88-year-old in the body of an 8-year-old dating a high schooler, so like, where do we go with this to like serious it up, you know what I mean?
Thing, but just the whole, just like, what's the word for it? Like societal, technological, like status between them, of like,
he is weirdly unaware of modern
it's like,
technology.
like she's so far gone, she's like scared of cars. Like that's how so far detached from the current state of the world that she is. So it's
I think we joked once, like, is it just like Alzheimer's? Like, was she developing Alzheimer's, and it was Kusuri's drug hopefully saved her? Or?
It's going to be revealed that, like, somehow it's going to be revealed, oh no, the war, it wasn't World War II, it was World War I. That wouldn't even make any sense, though, right?
Not for being 89.
Yeah.
I'm 140. I was a great grandma.
Yeah, I used my drugs to make to halt my aging, or whatever, and they weren't perfected, so it just slowed my aging. I still would have died, but my daughter sort of finished my research or something. I don't know, maybe, or my granddaughter sort of finished my research.
To me, she's like just above the maid, maybe like honestly same level, like with the like in D for sure.
Yeah, I did have her in D. Well, I probably
like I would put her under Mei just because at least Mei has had a good couple moments and jokes. Yaku hasn't had anything.
Mei clearly has a character arc that she is on right now. I don't know what any, like, does Yaku have anything resembling a character arc?
Yeah, that's fair. I remember liking the Fall Guys chapter with her.
oh yeah, I remember that.
Her arc is actually going to be taking the relationship seriously.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Yeah. Well, we'll see.
All right.
Is it baby time?
It's baby night time. There we go. All right. Let's go.
Oh shit!
Damn. I mean, I do myself. I do have Kishika in S tier as well. So I mean, that's actually.
I'm gonna have to ruin it. I do not have her in S tier. I'm sorry. I don't. Let me think. Wow. So you both have her in S tier, huh?
I don't know if I put her like an actual S, but maybe like a low A, because she is.
I'm trying to think of.
She does have cool things going on for her, but she's also pretty flanderized.
I feel like she kind of melds into the background for me. I feel like I rarely see her anymore. Almost. Am I crazy?
Yeah, I mean,
I know she showed up when he was like Yamsha'd recently in one of the. Yeah, I don't know. Let me think.
She also had the Meru little bit where Meru's like, oh my god, you have such an innocent soul or whatever.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And then they had the whole beach fighting tournament.
I think for me, and this might just be my own personal thing, but like for some reason, she like fades into the background the most out of like all the girls. But I do like her when I think about her. Like I like the dynamic. I like how. Yeah. That's fair. I have like the least to say about her. I like the dynamic. I like. You guys talk about her first, so I can stimulate my brain a little bit.
Her is that she is a woman. She's a woman of conflicts. She's always like in contrast to herself, where she wants to be this sturdy knight of chivalric value, but then she breaks in the most interesting ways. Obviously, the baby one's the most well-known one, but in other ways, she's also like. I don't know if down bad is the correct way to put it, but she's just like, it submits herself to Rentaro. Like the biggest example is every time, the beach chapter, biggest one. But
that's a great, that was the newest chapter when I caught up.
The other one was during one of the flirty daily lives, and the narrator even kind of just lays it out flatly and says, when she gets the opportunity to be vulnerable, she goes all out. And that's when you get that hot makeout session between Rentaro and Kishika in the hallway, where she's like, they're kissing and they're like, you know what, let's take this to somewhere more private so they can make out even harder. So
yeah, that is true. I guess it is the people that hold back the most that it then explodes out.
It's not more like she's holding back, but more like she has a switch. Like most of the time, she wants to be this chivalric person who's like someone people can rely on, and that's what her whole shtick is. With that, she's this older sister, and she had to help take care of her 5 younger sisters, and then when there's this flip on her, there's this switch on her, and when that gets hit, she turns into baby mode, or in Rentaro's case, this like lovey-dovey, like let me consume you kind of thing.
And I like that there's a reason for it, right? Like I feel like a weaker series would just have her like, haha, I just have this kink or whatever, but like for her it's like she literally never got the opportunity to be like treated like a child, like to be doted on, like good job, like, you did good,
Like this is what Chiyo would have this is what would have happened to Chiyo if he had not met Rentaro, basically.
Facts. Yeah, that's a great point. And like, so yeah, I really do like that beach chapter because she finally, that's a big moment for her where she realizes like, I don't need to be embarrassed. If it's just me and Rentaro, I don't need to be embarrassed about this because he's my boyfriend and he accepts all sides of me.
Yeah, I love the way Hasu said that. It was very much like, that's the appeal of love,
That's what love's all about, exactly. So it's like, I can just go into this mode and like he'll take care of it from there, and I can totally feel at peace and ease and comfort and calm around him, and that was just so sweet. Also, I add her in that moment. I like that chapter because we get to add her to the list of girls who have like tried to fuck Rentaro.
Yes, no, we cannot
want to make a baby.
Yes, and we cannot forget, her relationship with Hahari. That moment in her group introduction chapter where they basically
the other
like
filter.
recreate some like yes,
that was crazy, bro. That was that definitely is a filter because I remember like jaw drop the sun the way it's drawn with the sun is setting for some reason and like my god, it was so
like all
good.
Roman like Renaissance statue style style imagery over there.
That was a moment. You remember when they were like trapped in the urn together, like some giant fucking urn or whatever the fuck it was?
The vase,
I love the moment where like she escapes, but then she doesn't want to like be responsible for Hahari's like death. Like so she's like throws her a rope and she's like, "That's all I'm doing."
Yeah.
But I will knock her down a few points
I don't know.
just because the baby aspect of her has been flanderized pretty hard. They're leaning too much into that some of the time, where that's like her only thing. Like you forget about these other sides of her.
Like kendo.
Yeah. Like where's the kendo part too? So.
Yeah, just like Iku with the fucking baseball. We need to have like a sports arc again.
But I think there's at least enough there. It just doesn't happen as often, whereas Iku doesn't get anything. She's above Iku in that range, so that's why I put her like in high.
Yeah, the poor Iku fan.
That's me. I'm Iku fan. But yeah, I guess for her, I think you know what? You see, you have her at high B. Let me think. I like her. I like Naddy better.
I'm okay putting her below Naddy because at least Naddy hasn't been super flanderized.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I can agree with that placement.
Yeah, same here.
All right.